Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Week 4 in the NFL wrapped up last night with a Monday night doubleheader. Bad news for the Bengals in Denver. Cincinnati could only muster 3 points in a 28-3 loss to the Broncos. Both teams 2-2 on the season. Bengals host the Lions Sunday at 4:25. In Miami last night, the Dolphins beat the Jets 27-21 for their first win on the year. Bad news, Tyreek Hill's done for the season. The 31-year-old Hill dislocated his left knee and tore multiple ligaments in that knee after being tackled in the third quarter. Week 5 in the NFL begins Thursday in Los Angeles. The Rams will host the 49ers. Major League Baseball's wild card round begins today. The Guardians host the Tigers at 1 o'clock, while the Reds are at the Dodgers tonight at 9. In college football, Ohio State hosts Minnesota Saturday night at 7:30. It was announced yesterday the Buckeyes game next week at number 22 Illinois is going to be a big noon kick on Fox. Ohio State's Ryan Day will hold his weekly press conference today at noon. We'll carry those comments live on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Tom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Tuesday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. Loaded up on a Tuesday edition. Ryan Day will put the Washington game to bed. You'll hear his comments coming up at 9:30, 10 o'clock. We hit you with the real truth, 10:30. Uncle Dom going to drop by. NFL Blitz at 11 o'clock. And 11:30, that's right, we're doing some baseball here, kids. Big day here in the Buckeye State with both the Reds and the Guards a go. Tommy Thrall, he is the voice of the Cincinnati Reds. He will join us coming up at 11:30 here on the program. Do you guys believe in football gods?
Yes, and they're very cruel.
Well, but are they? I have a theory. Did the state of Ohio make a deal with the football gods? Or maybe the football gods were like, you can have some things, but not all things. One thing, not all things. You keep coming back to this. I was thinking about this watching the Bengals last night get bombed, and you just think about what was taken for them. You think about what the Browns thought they had drafting Miles and Baker, and maybe if circumstances were differently, that could have actually been the answer to it. But this is now 3 out of 6 seasons for Burrow where he's going to miss a majority of the season, and you see what happens to him last night, and I just started thinking to myself, has there ever been a case in this state where all 3 have been great at the same time for any extended period of time? And then you go back in history and you realize once the hiring of Woody Hayes happens, I mean, this is way back, you have this incredible stretch through the 60s and then through the 70s where Ohio State football is king. And at that point, the Browns are kind of meandering and the Bengals are an expansion team at that point. As Woody goes and in comes the great Earl Bruce, both the Browns and the Bengals probably have their best decades of the modern era. Obviously, the Browns have all of that success predates the NFL. But in terms of in the modern era, the 80s were probably best. The Browns had Brian Sipe winning an MVP, and they had the Cardiac Kids, and they had then later in the decade, they had Bernie Kosar and those teams, which are the most popular teams really in the history of the Cleveland Browns. Meantime, the Bengals have the Ken Anderson era in the beginning part of the 80s, which makes way for the Boomer Esiason era. You have 2 Super Bowl appearances in the 80s. All the while, Ohio State, and Earl's my guy. I love Earl, but what was it? He was 8-3 Earl. I mean, that's what it was called. Like, you weren't a contender at the highest level of the sport for much of that decade. And then things start to flip a little bit. You have the 90s where it's bad for both the NFL teams. The Buckeyes can win everything except the Michigan game during that tenure, but you're starting to see Ohio State ascend. Go into the 2000s. Really, from Tressel on, both the Browns and the Bengals have tried to find their way. The Bengals with more success than the Browns because why? They landed quarterbacks. They got Carson Palmer. But what happened to Carson Palmer? Kimmy Van Olhoffen happened to Carson Palmer. And so you never got to see it. And that gives way to Andy Dalton and that regime. And they were never really true contenders. The whole while, the Buckeyes are contending. We have this little bit of a chance in the late 2000 teens, early 20s, where in a bunch of drafts consecutively, Myles Garrett, Baker Mayfield, Denzel Ward, Nick Chubb, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, like it's all starting to happen. Oh, by the way, Ohio State is a preeminent college football program on the planet. They are the best run operation that you're going to find during all of this time, consistently the best, winning national championships. So you had this little bit of a window. And I think we even did this. I remember doing this once, Reese, on the show where we looked at it and it was Bengals with Burrow, Browns with Baker, and the Buckeyes ascending. And it was like, wow, this is all happening. And then it was gone for a million reasons. The Baker thing didn't work out in Cleveland. A lot of it on him, some of it on some of the organizational choices. Joe Burrow, for whatever reason, when he's healthy, he's a top 3 quarterback in the league. But the when he's healthy thing is real now. I mean, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And so that franchise is kind of stuck. Meantime, the Buckeyes stay. So I ask you this question. Would you sacrifice? Because from what I can tell, the football gods will not allow for all 3 of them to be great at once. We can't have nice things like that in football. We birth the sport from our collective loins, and for whatever reason, we cannot all be great at the same time. What would you sacrifice, or would you sacrifice at all from the Ohio State perspective for NFL success in the state? My hunch is most of you would say no. Now, we continue to do this show in Columbus, Ohio, so that's part of it. But if you think about that type of a deal that was made with the football gods, or the football devils, if you will, it just feels like there's never been a sustained period where they're all 3 have been great at the same time, which is pretty wild, really, when you think of it.
Yeah, I would imagine that you're not getting too many in this neck of the woods that would say that anything negative about the football gods because they've been kind for only everybody's entire lives.
Yeah.
If you're a Browns and a Bengals fan, you would say otherwise. But yeah, I think for I guess I'll speak for all of us. We're good. Because, it stinks. But if you're going to say the Browns can be good and make Super Bowl runs, but then the Buckeyes would get kicked into the Michigan-esque pit when they had Rich Rod and Brady Hoke, you would never take that. Yeah. You would never go to that kind of a low. But I feel like that would be the only way for the universe to truly balance out. Right. Yeah. If the Browns are making a Super Bowl run, or if the Bengals are making a couple of years of AFC North championships and AFC title game runs, you would have to send the Buckeyes, or you'd have to give the Buckeyes a coach that refuses to wear a headset on the sidelines. It's the only way to make it fair.
Be something if Bob was like the next coach and he did it without a headset. What do I need a headset for?
Mess up these locks.
I'm not talking to anybody.
Just yelling at people.
That's such an interesting question. I guess it would be like, how long do you have to give it up? And
all right, let's flesh it out.
So because
go 5 years.
All right,
and what do I get out of it as a Browns?
You get a Super Bowl.
You get a Super Bowl.
I would do it. 5 years, I would do it.
Yeah, well, the thing is you've got, in your lifetime, you have 3 Ohio State national championships.
And for the most part, they've been good the whole time, right?
They've been great mostly.
Ohio State, for the most time, has been a top 5 program most of my life. Now, the Browns, there was a lot of heartache, but until they moved, the Browns were a pretty good franchise in my lifetime. They were right there. They were playoffs every year. There was a lot of heartache, obviously, but they were close. And since they've been back, it has been nothing but hell.
They were essentially the Buffalo Bills without getting to the Super Bowl is kind of what they were from Sipe and those guys through Kozar. And the ultimate bitter pill on that is that Cleveland Browns organization actually stayed really good because they became the Ravens and they won 2 Super Bowls. And so that's the ultimate, bitter pill to swallow on that. I think in order for it to hurt, in order for you to get the ultimate success on the NFL level, it would have to hurt on the Buckeye level. Now, the good news is, from the Buckeye perspective, is you guys got, if whatever age you are, if you're listening to this show, you're not in school, so you're of a certain age, you've seen national titles. You've seen them. So if you were to fall into what would be a painful enough, because the Michigan Brady Hoke thing might be too much. That might be too much for us to bear. That level of, like some of those Rich Rodriguez teams with Tate Forcier in that. I don't know that I want to sentence anybody to that. Maybe a Michigan State D'Antonio run minus the college football playoff thing.
Well, I only use Michigan because the talent was similar in terms of recruiting.
I think Michigan's the best one. Maybe the Hoke Michigan and early Rich Rod Michigan, but not.
Because you saw all that talent, you're like, what the hell is going on there? Why can't they get it together?
Yeah.
Like Michigan State.
How about this? No hardware for the Buckeyes for a decade. No hardware. No Big Tens. No national titles. No college football playoff. I'm going to let you go 4-6 against Michigan.
But I get
10
an
years
NFL
and
championship?
you get a Bengals or Browns Super Bowl.
No.
Bake?
10 years.
A decade of mediocrity.
Because then after that decade, you're not.
I don't know if I can do that.
After the decade, you're not guaranteed to bounce right back into the national title picture.
Now, if
you got to dig out of a decade hole. You saw how Michigan had to do it.
If you're giving me a Stanley Cup, I might say yes. But
oh my God! If I throw a Stanley Cup in,
yeah. If you throw a Stanley Cup,
can I get a World Series championship or maybe a Cavs title?
That's a little bit of a cheat code. Yeah, maybe that would be the better way to do it. But then we're out of the football gods world.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I were to throw you a Stanley Cup too, that might get it done.
Sold.
A decade of Buckeye irrelevance. We laugh because it's impossible. Because you've done it for 5 decades, you never have to worry about it. Like, it's so impossible to the scenario that I just threw out for you guys of no Big Ten titles, no national I mean, that's Nebraska. That's Nebraska. That's actually better than Nebraska, because I didn't say you'd have losing records. I just said you weren't going to win the Big Ten. It might be more like Iowa.
Yeah, we can be 9-3 every year. And
yeah. It's tough. And if you're a Bengals
violence
fan,
on Tuesday.
I did, yeah. Well, the more I thought about it, I was just like, God, this is crazy. Like 50, 60 years that none of these three have all been great for any extended period of time. Going back to anyone who's out there listening's life. I mean, it just hasn't happened, and it's crazy that's the case.
That's why I had and have such disdain for Steelers Buckeye fans, because they've never known heartache in their life.
No, that's a combination. That's a tough combination.
Especially the ones like in Columbus that just chose the Pittsburgh Steelers because they were good.
I'll tell you what, I don't know what Cincinnati is going to do. I'm not sure what they should do. But at 2-2, it feels a lot worse than that and a lot more hopeless. We'll look back on Monday Night Football, the staggered start Monday Night Football. We're off and running on a Tuesday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
The number one problem we see at our clinic is delaying treatment. ED and low T can get worse.
Book your appointment right now. Call 614-300-7400. Prefer privacy? Book online in under 30 seconds at columbusmensclinic.com.
At our clinics, men's sexual health is the whole job. Look, I'm a normal guy too. I hate going to the doctor, but we've helped so many guys in here just like you. Even if pills have failed, our medical team is going to take the time to talk you through it. Same day in-house lab, and the treatments, well, they could change your life.
Your local medical team has your back. ED, low T, Peyronie's, size, and shape modeling. We tailor what works for you.
I'll get to the point. Can you imagine epic workouts and epic sex? Yeah, I said it.
A stronger you is closer than you think. We're available right now. Call 614-300-7400 or book in 30 seconds or less at columbusmensclinic.com. Columbus Men's Clinic. Making it happen.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Wake up and laugh with the Bob and Tom Show on the Fan 2.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10.
It says here they've won 5 Marconi Awards. I can't even spell Marconi. The Fan 2, Columbus's home of the Bob and Tom Show.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, you might not be big on technology, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Maybe you've gone through a divorce or a bad breakup or a relative moved out. It's been hard, and you just want to take what you want and leave the rest behind. I will help you. Retiring and want to sell your commercial properties or land. I will help you. Sellers, whether you're selling as is or selling for top dollar, you're no longer alone. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
One of the hottest days of the week for us. Daytime highs in the mid to upper 80s with plenty of sunshine. And then for tonight, overnight lows will be down into the mid to upper 50s with clear skies. The dry weather continues on Wednesday, although we will be a little bit cooler, but still very warm with our highs right around 80 degrees. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
For the third time in 4 games, the Cincinnati Bengals failed as an offense to accumulate 200 yards of total offense. So since Joe Burrow's been out, which obviously happened right away, you have had complete offensive failure to go along with a defense that was always going to be a weak spot. Remember, guys, when we thought, all right, their path to success is to win 38-35. Joe goes out, they can't get to 20 is the reality of it. And they're completely stuck in neutral. And yet they're 2-2. And because they have those 2 wins out of the gates in the bank, it's still plausible for them to play relevant football at some point. But the way that it's been looking, it's hard to see it coming. Zach Taylor postgame, still confident that things will get going in the right direction.
Absolutely. We've faced 2 of the tougher environments on the road against 2 really good teams. We didn't hold our own. We didn't do well enough. I think there's been pieces that we can continue to build on. Like I said, I thought our defense came out the second half. They got the ball first, and they did enough to give us an opportunity to get back in the game. And offensively, we just didn't give ourselves enough momentum to do that.
A lot of frustration on the Bengals sideline, some stuff with Jamar Chase as well. Here is Zach Taylor on that interaction with Jamar.
Jamar, coming off a game like this, is one of my favorite players to deal with, quite frankly, because he's just competitive. And he just wants to win and comes across as emotional, but that's just a captain that works his tail off. All he wants to do is win the game. All he wants to do is affect the game. And And oftentimes he feels like if I have the ball in my hand, I can do that. And I don't disagree with him. And we're always looking for ways to get him the ball. Obviously, sometimes for him, he can't see what's going on in the backfield and some of the challenges that we face back there. But I love Jamar. He's when I'm done coaching, he will be one of my all-time favorites for the way that he has, how many years has he been here? 4? 5? For the way that he has, I wouldn't say matured because he was never immature, but just the way he's become the total pro that you want leading your football team and competing in practice and competing in games. I can't say enough about him, and I'm sure if that interaction was on site, it just comes from a place where I want to help the team win. I can help the team win, help me help the team win, and I love that about him.
That sounds to me like someone who's trying to convince everybody to keep rowing in the same direction.
Yeah, it's Kevin Bacon in Animal House.
But does anyone believe it? Like, who's he inspiring to run through a wall with him? Like,
Well, here's the hard thing for. He was hired for the offense. He's hired. Whether you want to agree with it or not, as a Bengals fan, is entirely up to you. But he was hired for his offensive acumen, and even though he wasn't really a play caller, that's what he was hired for. And so, when you're one of those guys, there's two type of coaches in the NFL. There's follow me to freedom guy. That's Mike Tomlin, Dan Campbell. Then there's I'm a genius. Watch me put you in the best places to succeed. So that's McVay and LaFleur and Shanahan and Stefanski's been that. That's been that. I'm going to put you. Here's the problem. If you're one of those guys and it starts to go south and it's your side of the ball that's primarily the reason for it, then you get a lot of pointing fingers at that point. And that's what Zach Taylor's going to have to battle here is everybody going, wait a second, what is going on here? And here's the other thing. We don't have any sort of a straight answer on Joe Burrow. They'll say mid-December. Who knows? You're not going to know till you know with that. It's a severe injury. It's catastrophic toe. Like it's a massive, massive injury. So theoretically, he could come back mid-December, but there's no guarantee of that. So they are on the most finest of line right now of what do they do with this season. And I don't have a clear answer for it, but I know that this ain't it, what they're doing right now. And I cannot imagine the Brown family frustration of, so we finally decide to spend and keep all of them, and then we lose Burrow. Like, you want to talk about football gods laughing in your face. That's it. I'm sick for Bengal fan. This is awful to have this all lined up for the ownership to finally pay off in the biggest way possible, keep everybody, and then you lose the guy who's most important.
And to your point about Joe Burrow and the injury, you heard Troy Aikman talking about it last night with Deion Sanders and how it's affected the rest of his life, let alone his playing career. The turf toe injury that Deion suffered has affected the rest of his life.
Yeah.
In the 2 games that Joe Burrow didn't start, the Bengals were outscored 76-13. It was funny when you heard Zach talk about, Jamar can't see what's going on in the backfield. Well, Jamar probably also can't see the line getting dominated every single play. I think they had 11 penalties all in the first half, it felt like, last night for this franchise. And it can go. I see the blame getting put on, Zach Taylor for good reason, but for the front office to spend and spend and spend the way it did to give Joe Burrow, what he wanted. This is obviously the worst break you could possibly imagine for this team. But now it's on the front office to figure out a way around it because this current roster does not have enough to make a playoff run or to keep things afloat. Until Joe Burrow comes back, which is, who knows?
Joe Burrow was the Band-Aid. His availability held it all together. His availability allowed you for not to land and do everything you needed to do defensively. But if you have Trey Hendrickson re-signed, at least for one more year, he can make 1 or 2 game-changing plays on a big 3rd and goal or in the red zone, a strip sack fumble. Just get me a couple of plays, even a pressure here or there to get me the ball back. Joe Burrow was the Band-Aid for an offensive line that hasn't been good in a while. Why? Because Joe Burrow gets it out quick. He gets it out quick, and he can anticipate. And even when he holds on to it a little bit long, and sometimes that's been some of his issues, he was able to create time in the pocket. Joe Burrow's the Band-Aid for what ails the Cincinnati Bengals. Unfortunately, you can't go buy one of those on the street. You got to draft him. They did. He's just been hurt a lot. So in terms of it's on the front office, what would we have them do? I mean, these are the guys that they could do. This to me would be an upgrade of what they have currently of Jake Browning, because Jake Browning ain't it. That's abundantly clear. So if it were me, and I know this guy because we had him last year with the Browns, I would make a call to the Giants about Jameis Winston. I would. Now, he's going to throw it to the other team for sure. And he's a culture tornado. He is first in, last out guy. Like, everything that you see on the videos is who he is. But most importantly for the Bengals, he's attainable. You can probably get him for a bucket of balls right now in New York. You could probably get that done. And at the very least, he is an accurate downfield thrower. So at the very least, he would get T. Higgins and Jamar Chase engaged. It's better than what they have now. The other potential targets that are out there, Garoppolo and Cousins come up. Both of those obviously would be pretty good fixes. I think Cousins might be totally cooked, but Garoppolo comes up. I don't see any scenario how the Rams, who to me are a Super Bowl, I think they're the best team in the NFC. I said that last week. I still stand by it. I think they have the highest ceiling in the NFC. With Stafford's back, they can't risk a Super Bowl team to not have a quality backup. So they're very comfortable where they are. And I don't think that the Bengals can take on Cousins' salary. So there aren't easy fixes here. This is franchise quarterback down, but I do think you have to do something. I don't think you could keep trotting out Jake Browning and thinking that's it.
Yeah, they got the Lions Sunday at 4:25.
Oh, jeez.
It would cost them a first-round pick if they wanted to make a move for Cousins.
It's not even the pick, Reese. It's the salary coming back.
Well, I do wonder if they're able to
bring it in.
If they're able to make a deal with that first round, like, hey, Atlanta, can you eat some of this?
And I don't think if you're Cincinnati, you can't do
that's
that.
not worth it, right?
I think
I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't think it would take that either. I think the Falcons would probably do it for a fourth. I mean, they would do it if they
could take it first.
Well, they wouldn't need it. I don't think it would require that. I think a 4 would get it done, but the problem is coming back. Who's paying for it?
Well, that's it. You'd have to give them a 1 to retain the salary.
And I don't even know how much of that you can do because there's dead money and there's. It's not about the money for Arthur Blank. He's fine writing a check. It's about, can you make it work from a cap perspective?
Do we believe this is Trey Hendrickson's last year in Cincinnati?
Yes.
I mean, if they don't get this fixed, he's moved at the deadline.
Then you trade him now, right? And get whatever you can for him. Like, that's, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I know, like, you can't have players in the locker room thinking, oh, this is a dead year, but this is a dead year, right? Like, they're not going anywhere. And even if Burrow comes back, how healthy is he going to be? Are we going to see the Joe Burrow that we've seen before? I'm guessing probably not, and I'm guessing by that point you're dead in the water. So to me, I start thinking about what pieces on this roster now can I move to accumulate as much capital to make myself better next year moving forward?
They're 2-2, though. And if you're a Bengal fan, you just need Burrow back, and then you got a chance. Can they get to that point? I think what you have to have is you're right, in terms of severity of the injury. You need to have a real conversation with those docs and say, where are we with this? Give me something so I can make an educated decision. If he comes back and it's middle of December, and there's no absolute here, right? It's science. They're practicing medicine. But you need to have a real conversation of, can he come back and what can he be when he is? Because if he can come back and even be 80% of what he was, building towards 100% in the postseason, then you don't want to play the Cincinnati Bengals. But they can't get there as currently constructed. I don't think. Not with Jake Browning. It's a mess. And it sucks. And I do feel for him because they were as all in as can be. Coming up next, a team that is always as all in as can be. Ryan Day, his final thoughts on the win out in Seattle. And a kick time for the Illinois game. I believe we had that. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement, and that starts with a team who brings your vision to life. Our installers aren't just skilled, they're experts.
This is who we are. This is what we do all day, every day.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com, 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Ready for your next truck? At Krieger Ford, we have just what you're looking for. Trade in your vehicle and get a new Ford F-150 with a black appearance package for $11,000 off MSRP. It's all part of the Krieger commitment. Best cars, best people, peace of mind. Visit us today on Morris Road in Columbus or find your new truck at KriegerFord.com.
If you're itching for a new vehicle this fall, you have to go see my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Hey, it's Anthony. I drive an awesome Ridgeline, and you can drive home the rugged 25 Ridgeline Sport with 0% APR or lease for as low as $299 a month. Or go for the looks and reliability of a 2025 Honda Accord LX, just 3.99% APR or lease it from only $199 a month. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270, and GermainHondaofDublin.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Did your doctor just add another medication to that long list? Maybe for blood pressure, cholesterol, type 2 diabetes? You ask him how you're going to get off of it? Well, the answer is going to be losing weight. But you already knew that. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? Sup with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Tuesday edition of the program. Buckeyes back to work this week for a return home, Minnesota on Saturday night, but doing so coming off of a statement win out in Seattle against a really good Washington squad. Really the perfect game. Talked about this a lot yesterday, that everything you'd want if you're Ryan Day. The initial challenges, the way the defense stood up, and then the second half offensive output is certainly good enough for something to hang your hat on this. Here is Ryan Day from Roundtable last night on the effort in the win over Washington.
Well, I think the first thing you look for is effort, and traveling across the country. First road environment. They had a great environment there, and shout out to all the Buckeye fans who were there because we had a great presence, and that certainly helped our team. But the first thing you look at is effort, and I thought the effort was excellent. I thought guys were running all over the field, playing physical. The next thing you look for is execution, and we had just about everybody grayed out on defense, a champion in that game. And so when you're getting great effort and you're getting great execution, you're going to get great results like that. And so I thought the guys did a great job executing the game plan and then executing in situations, because up until that point, Washington was really flawless in situational football, third down and in the red zone.
Yeah, really checked every box from a coaching standpoint. Let's see all of the challenges we can be put up against, and then how do we respond to them? Here's Ryan Day saying all three levels played well.
Well, we're only 4 games in, but that's what we're looking for. And when you look at the way that Williams was in the pocket, it was clear to see that the coverage was excellent because he had to double or triple pump. And then the rush lanes were really disciplined in terms of understanding how to corral him, keep him in the pocket, and then that led to a bunch of sacks and a bunch of TFLs. So I think the guys are understanding it, what we're trying to get done, and their confidence is building each week.
Yeah, it seems to me like defensively right now they have the answers to the test. That was as good a defensive game plan as I've seen around here. I thought the second half with the quarterback was exceptional as well. Here's Ryan Day on his sophomore quarterback, Julian Sand.
Yeah, I agree. And there was a few things in the game, like his scramble to get us into field goal range on 3rd and long after we found ourselves behind the sticks. He had to throw the ball away a couple times, drifted on that 3rd down when they brought zero pressure and understood what was going on, bought himself a ton of time, found a passing lane there to Jeremiah, really threw the ball to Max Clare on that play action, just right on the money. And, Max did a great job, getting a foot in bounds and just having the composure of going into an environment like that on the silent cadence for the first time. That's not something that, as you know, is easy. And I thought, Carson and Luke, the guys up front, and obviously Julian handled that part of it well.
I stammered off the start of that, toss of that soundbite on Julian Sand because he's technically a sophomore, but he's basically a freshman is what you're dealing with. He's been here now 18 months. I think one of the cool things about Julian is at no point in any of these first 4 games, and you certainly wouldn't expect it against Ohio and Grambling, but at no point in the Texas game, and really at no point out at Washington, those are his 2 big litmus tests so far, does he at any point seem flustered or it too big for him, or I don't even see him like emotionally distressed in any way. He just is such a cool customer, even when it doesn't go well, which it really doesn't not go well very often. He's cool, and it's on to the next. And I think that is a massive trump card for them to be able to pull at some point as this season goes along, is that you have a quarterback who I keep saying can do a lot more than is being asked, but they have a plan for him, and it's working. At no point is he out over his skis.
Yeah, I was really interested to see how he would handle the environment at Washington, and at no point, to your point, was I concerned with the quarterback for Ohio State. I mean, the 2 teams that were out there, one was affected by the noise and the atmosphere and the bright lights and the moment, and it was not Ohio State.
No.
And so there's really no concern for me in 2 weeks when you're playing a game at Illinois. The one thing I'm looking forward to it now after seeing 4 games in 5 weeks of Julian saying how he handles the atmosphere of the Big House. You got to wait till November 29th to do that, but there's no reason for me to believe right now as he continues to make strides in his play, in his understanding of the offense, and his reading the football field, that this right now pretty well operational offense doesn't become fully armed and fully operational when you get, I mean, we're September 30th, and we had talked before the Texas game how different this team was going to look, how different this team will look between September 30th and October 30th with what you've seen from the quarterback now only gives you, great cause for excitement.
I thought it was interesting. There was one play in the Washington game where he came off the field and it looked like Ryan was giving him some kind of instruction or, positive criticism, whatever it was. And Julian just kind of smiles, and runs his hand through his hair. And it took me back to, and I can't remember who said this, who had this, brought this up, but they said they had talked to Julian Sayen's high school coach. And they said there was one game where they were playing, and it was like their biggest game of the year. And he comes off the sidelines, and he's talking about what the plans are with everyone for tomorrow. Like what they were going to do when they were all going to go hang out and what they were all going to do. And it's just, some guys are just built different, right? And things just water off a duck's back. And that just seems to be Julian. Like nothing phases him, good or bad.
No, he's a really cool customer, and he's obviously incredibly accurate, so you understand where the confidence comes. This week, of course, you are playing a Minnesota Golden Gopher team on Saturday night at 7:30 that quite honestly is not going to be up to your level from a talent standpoint in any way. Not a talent equates in any way. I would imagine Ryan's not going to want any of his players to hear this, but my hunch is if I gave you the Buckeye Twos versus Minnesota, you'd be just fine on that side of things. The game at at Illinois in a couple of weeks is going to be a little bit more frisky, to say the least. We did find out, as predicted by us, that would be a big noon kick on Fox. I'm going to tell you what, I think that of all of the things that we do well, and I don't know that there are a ton of things we do well here on the program, but one thing that I think we can hang our hat on, if we want to be the official sports talk radio station of nailing kick times for Ohio State, I think we crush this. I feel like we're batting 1,000 on these. I mean, we've called them all. You can almost, I think I could go through like the schedule and tell you where they're going to be, and I don't think I'd miss much.
This one and the Michigan one are the only two that I'm okay with. I think you should always play Ohio State, Michigan at noon. I understand this one with Ohio State and Illinois because of what else you've got on the slate that day, and 2 West Coast games that are going to be absolutely great to watch.
I'm sure people in Champaign aren't happy. You think they want to play their second now? So they just played USC at noon. Now they got to play Ohio State at noon. Like they're going, what?
Unfortunately,
can we get one atmosphere? But who cares, Illinois?
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm Fox in this instance where I care little for the opinions of those in Champaign. Sorry, Fish. Welcome back. It doesn't matter because for the longest time you have not mattered. So you do as you're told for most of the teams in the Big Ten. But you were tooting this horn before the Texas game that Ohio State needs to take a look at Fox and be like, you are no longer in our future plans.
Well, they at least need to say, if you are in our future plans, we're going to have some say on this. And I think they will.
I just think it's interesting, this talk this year, and people are like, I can't believe Illinois' big noon. You're going to have played 5 games before then and only played 1 noon game. Yeah. And I understand that 1 noon game was Texas, and that's the one game that I would fight for that should have been a primetime game. Like, that's just a matchup that should be under the lights.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand the consternation with noon games. And you're going to get a lot of them coming up here the rest of the way.
I'll explain it to you. So Dylan was texting me about this over the weekend. I missed him this morning talking about it, but I heard Tyvis and Brother Bone talking about it and saying that he crashed out on it a little bit. And so, but I gave him the same context I'm going to give you. And he said, the question he asked me was, did people always complain about noon games before it was big noon? And I said, no. Why? Because big noon in the old days, noon games, other than the Michigan game, were always the game where Ohio State against a clown. So let's just get it over with and let's be on with our day. So nobody was bothered by it. What's bothersome to Buckeye fan is that every big game that you play in Columbus is big noon. That's the problem. It's the problem that you've taken away the Penn State game. You took away the opportunity for the Texas game to be night. That should have been a night game. 100% it should have been a night game. The Penn State game had a vibe to it over there or here at night. So it's not the amount of noon games that's a problem. It's what noon games. That's the problem. The specific noon games where you lose environment that otherwise would be exceptional is still really good. Texas was still good. That's the beef. No one's complaining, I don't think, about Ohio State at Illinois at noon. Like, I don't care. I don't live in Champaign. Thank God. So I don't care what time that game is.
It's all of that, and it's the 6th straight last season, and then it's Fox telling you that the noon kicks matter just as much in big game situations as they do at night. Like, this was the James Franklin comment we had on Friday, where he was trying to say that Fox was trying to tell him, Fox was trying to gaslight the head coach at Penn State that noon whiteouts were the same as night whiteouts. Like, this is what you're dealing with. So It's all of it that makes for a really bad experience overall.
Yeah, and you added 4 teams on the West Coast that can't play in the window. So, at home. So that's the other thing that stinks. So there's just no real scenario for you to have a big game here, anything other than noon. But, like, I don't think anybody's complaining about Illinois at noon in Champaign.
I mean, there's a lot of the fans are already.
Are they really? What do you care unless you're going?
Yeah, no, the noon thing in Champaign against Illinois is fine. The noon against Michigan's fine, but noon for Penn State, noon for Texas, it's stupid.
Here's my thing. I'm at the point now, having just done the 3:30 thing, as a human being, for my personal life, give me noon or 7:30. 3:30 is the one I hate because I'm stuck. Like, I can't do anything. It's right in the middle of the day. You give me noon or 7:30, then I can either do an evening or I can have a morning. But I understand what they're trying to do, too. I get it.
It is interesting that we talk about this with Texas and Penn State, and these should be night games and whatever. But because it's tradition, if we try to move Michigan off of noon, people are going to lose their mind.
It's just like there are certain things in this sport that, God, I hope are untouchable, and that's one of them. That's the same way that I feel about the Red River Shootout. That's got to be at 11 a.m. Central. That's when it's played forever. That's the way it's done. I feel that way. Like, the cocktail party, to me, should always be 3:30. That's the sweet spot for that game. It's not always there, but it's best when it is. This was, the Rage Against the Machine song, Bulls on Parade? Last night, Buckeyes on Parade in the NFL. A ton to take in on this side of things, and another catastrophic injury. This one not on turf. We'll get to all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
1-877-CARS for kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids.
1-877-CARS for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Visit the Good Feet Store today. Walk-ins are always welcome. Visit the Good Feet Store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron, I invented a way to make sure people's furnaces are safe.
Do you test high temperature, flame rollout, flame limit, and flame proving?
Yeah, no one wants to set their house on fire.
Do you inspect the heat exchanger?
Yeah, no one wants a house full of carbon monoxide.
We already do all that for just $89.
Yeah, but my price is just $88.
Okay, so $88 will be the new price for a furnace safety check.
Get Eco.
I also invented a cool new name for it.
Okay.
I call it the Super Safety Check.
What makes it super?
Well, it costs $1 less, and it has super in the name.
Should I start calling you Super Jerry?
The Super Jerry Super Safety Check. I like it.
Get Eco to safety check your furnace.
Or, for $1 less, you can get the Super Jerry Super Safety Check.
Get Eco.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Your new Columbus home for the Jim Rome Show is the Fan 2.
Catch the live experience weekdays from 3 to 6.
Just one requirement. Have it take and don't suck. The Fan 2, Columbus's home of the Jim Rome Show.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, we've got a problem at Pella.
I like where this is going.
Because of Pella's reputation and quality, a lot of folks assume that we're out of budget.
Oh, that's too... Oh, I hate hearing.
But we've actually got 5 awesome window lines that fit any budget, from the $300,000 to the $3 million home, and far from the most expensive.
So you actually don't have a problem. Awesome.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
It's the Valley Ford Fall Super Sale. Mustang EcoBoost, Mach-E, Escape Active, Bronco Sport, just $399 a month. F-150 and Explorer models, Bronco Big Bend, Mustang GT, only $499 a month. Lease all with 0 down or buy from a big Ford lineup with 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 0 APR for 48 months, like Carnell Tate says.
The game-winning deal is always at Valley.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus.
All leases 36 months, all offers with approved credit. See Valley for details.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, the Fan. If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Sometimes the best gifts are the ones you don't wait a holiday to give. If you've got a Buckeye fan in your life, now is the time to go to Diamond Cellar. It's the place to go. They got the official jewelry of Ohio State. Exclusive Buckeye collection. It's the real deal. Blocko earrings, diamond script Ohio necklaces. These pieces are built to last and show off that Buckeye pride every single day, especially on game day. And with luxury Buckeye jewelry starting at just $99, it's the perfect just because surprise or way to kick off football season in style. Check out Diamond Cellar today and score the ultimate Buckeye gift. Tell them both sent you. They're my guys. Either of the 2 locations here in town. This was Buckeyes everywhere you looked last night. Whether it was J.K. Dobbins or Justin Fields throwing to Garrett Wilson. The story of the night, I think, from a National Football League perspective, was the gruesome injury to Tyreek Hill. We have had. That was a tough one. I was actually surprised they showed the replay on it. He was hospitalized overnight. If you didn't see what happened last night, dislocated knee, multiple knee ligaments, including his ACL, undergo surgery later today. I will say he had an incredible demeanor about it, like the smile and the. I don't know how he did that. I don't know how I cannot imagine the pain that was, or I'm sure he was in some sort of shock as he was being taken off. But the smile and like put his arm on the guy who was the trainer who was next to him or the doc who was next to him. But it's just this league, folks, has had a rash. We're a month in of big-time star catastrophic injury. I mean, think of like all pro level that's happened already just in the last 2 weeks. Think of Nick Bosa, Malik Neighbors, Tyreek Hill, all in the last week. It's just been massive injury after injury. Again, not a doctor. I didn't go to bird doctor school either, so I'm not going to pretend to be, but I did talk to a buddy who was an orthopedic, and the one thing that and this was years ago, but we always just keep coming back to, is it possible that these guys are too finely tuned? Now, this isn't a ligament thing. This is a knee dislocation, so that's different. But I do wonder, like, does the body need some downtime, and do these guys not give it enough? That's the only thing that makes some sense to me. You can point to turf in the Meadowlands, and that maybe contributes, and there's a million factors. This one, again, isn't that. This is a different thing. But I do wonder with all of these injuries if that's part of it. But it's a tough watch to see what's happened to the NFL a month in from an injury standpoint.
Yeah, the turf's probably bad, but the overuse of tendons and ligaments. I mean, if you look at the NBA, how many Achilles and other ligaments were injured, at catastrophic points last season. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that a lot of these guys are just overusing their bodies, and it's kind of demanded of them, that you not just come to camp to get ready, but you come to camp ready. And so the rest of the year, you're constantly working out, and rarely are you getting rest on these things. But that's in every sport. So I think it does have to start at like the most ground floor. When they're kids, but I mean, you could speak to this better than anybody. It never stops for them.
No, they go. It never stops. Never. One thing to the next.
I also think, like with these Achilles injuries, and I don't know how you stop it. And even Tyreek last night, these guys do so many crazy things with their bodies to try to make such great plays. And all of these Achilles injuries, if you've seen them, like we always talk about sports and how you got to have a good base, right? Your feet under you, your legs, your knees bent, all of that. And all of these Achilles injuries, you see the foot is like 2-3 feet behind the body. And it's just all that torque that you're putting on it, and it snaps. And last night, Tyreek's going out of bounds. He throws his leg way out in front of him, and it just happens to land right as the defender tackles him at a weird angle, and you get that dislocation. It's kind of crazy that we don't see injuries like this in the NFL a little more with all of the force and as strong as these guys are. And I don't know how you change it, right? Because these guys are trying to make these great, super athletic plays. But a lot of times, if I think like they kept everything more inside their body, it would be a lot easier, right? I don't know how you do that, though.
I don't either. I'll tell you, he's one of my all-time favorite Buckeyes is Justin Fields. I just loved him. I wish we could have seen, like, the idea that COVID robbed us of his full second season. It just sucks because he was so much fun to watch. It hasn't been great for him in the NFL, but then you look at this. Let's say you didn't watch this game last night. You didn't watch this game, and you just looked at the box score. You'd see 20 of 27, 226, and a touchdown, a rating of 111. You'd see 7 carries for 81 and another touchdown, including a play on fourth down that there aren't many guys in the league who could make on that one. But then you also have this. Now, you tell me how you reconcile this from Warren Sharp. Justin Fields has led his teams to an 0-25 record when the opponent scores at least 21 points. 0 out of 25. He's the only winless quarterback out of 46 quarterbacks in that sample over the last 5 years with at least 10 starts made. So what is Justin in the NFL?
A victim of bad luck. I think you watched the Jets last night, and Justin Fields was not the problem. I think you watched the Bears, Justin Fields wasn't the problem. The Steelers, Justin Fields wasn't the problem.
Sometimes he is, Reese.
Sometimes, but not like the overarching. He's 4-2 with Pittsburgh. With the New York Jets last night, it was all Justin Fields. If they don't have him, they're not scoring 21 points. Like the Jets are legitimately terrible.
They shouldn't be, but you're right, they are.
I think you're right. Like last night, they're not scoring 21 points without Justin Fields, but by the time they get to where they can score 21 points, they're almost out of the game, and it's like, well, we got nothing to lose. Let's just do this. And it just seems like Justin does not work well in the structure of an offense. The kind of player he is, he's just better going and ad-libbing it, and that's not always better for the whole team.
I think it's a combination of what you both just said. I think it's a little of what Reese said of he's a victim of the circumstance he's been in, which have been absurd. The Chicago thing right away neutered his development. And that's why, like, Threes and I would go anywhere but there.
Yeah.
Like, not there.
The Bears
if he went to the 49ers, right, and he was playing with Kyle. But here's the deal, and this goes to Baker's point. The coaches like Kyle want nothing to do with him. Because what they want is to turn your back to the defense, flip your head, and throw it to a spot. That's why Purdy works. That's why Cousins thrived in that. That's why Bo Nix is thriving right now. They want a guy who's comfortable turning their back to the defense, flipping it around, and I've schemed this open, throw it there. That's not what Justin is. So if you're one of those type of coaches, that's why Pittsburgh didn't want to keep him with Arthur Smith, despite the record. Because in Arthur Smith's view, Justin Fields, despite the record, was leaving a lot of plays on the field by missing things that were schemed open. Now we can overcompensate it because of what Bake said, because when he gets out of structure, they have to chase him. We can just go play football. Then it all works. So to me, for Justin to have been successful, he'd almost have to be in the situation that Kyler was in right away with Cliff, where it's like, we're going to build everything around your skills. Everything's around you. And then maybe he could evolve the way that Lamar did at the end, the way that Lamar's evolved over the last 3 or 4 years, where he's become a complete quarterback. Early on, though, that's not what it was. But Lamar had consistent voice, and Justin didn't. So it's probably a little bit of both. We'll hit the real truth coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Dormar, your climate hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
Good morning, Columbus. It's going to be a good day, and it's going to be big. With the biggest morning news team in Central Ohio, Good Day Columbus. The biggest news, weather, and traffic in town every day. Bringing you over 5 hours of breaking news, live reports, and continuing coverage, and stories that'll make you smile. First Warning Weather gets you ready for the day ahead, and Steer Clear Team Traffic will get you to work on time. Good Day Columbus, weekday mornings on ABC 6. It's going to be a good day.
Listen up.
Y'all know what time it is.
Abbott Elementary returns.
Miss Shementi will no longer be teaching second grade. She'll be moving up to teach middle school math in homeroom.
New year.
Preteens are very different than second graders. Every day is like an episode of Scared Straight. What?
Same Abbott.
We live in a post-truth landscape, and these kids hit below the belt, which is where you haven't been touched in years.
Abbott Elementary season premiere.
Wednesday night on ABC 6.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. My good friends over at Sleep Better Columbus want you to know that if you're 65 or older, enjoying those golden years, but maybe you're dealing with restless nights, you need to listen up. Are you tossing and turning, struggling with sleep apnea, and that leaves you wiped out during the day? Well, it's time to reclaim your rest with Dr. Mark Levy at Sleep Better Columbus. As a leading provider in non-surgical sleep apnea treatments, Dr. Levy helps you breathe easier and sleep deeper with custom oral appliances, a comfortable alternative to CPAP. The best part is that Sleep Better Columbus is in network with most medical insurance plans and is a proud Medicare provider, so your coverage can work seamlessly with Sleep Better Columbus. And as we head toward the end of the year, don't let those benefits go unused. You don't want to wait to use your deductible. Act now to make the most of it with Sleep Better Columbus. Call Sleep Better Columbus today at 800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that number, 800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com for your consultation. Sleep better, live better. You've earned it.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Did your doctor just add another medication to that long list? Maybe for blood pressure, cholesterol, type 2 diabetes. You ask him how you're going to get off of it? Well, the answer is going to be losing weight. But you already knew that. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
The #1 problem we see at our clinic is delaying treatment. ED and low T can get worse.
Book your appointment right now. Call 614-300-7400.
Prefer privacy? Book online in under 30 seconds at columbusmensclinic.com.
At our clinics, men's sexual health is the whole job. Look, I'm a normal guy too. I hate going to the doctor, but we've helped so many guys in here just like you. Even if pills have failed, our medical team is going to take the time to talk you through it. Same day in-house lab, and the treatments, well, they could change your life.
Your local medical team has your back. ED, low T, Peyronie's, size, and shape modeling. We tailor what works for you.
I'll get to the point. Can you imagine epic workouts and epic sex? Yeah, I said it.
A stronger you is closer than you think. We're available right now. Call 614-300-7400 or book in 30 seconds or less at columbusmensclinic.com. Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Dormar, you're my hero.
Hey Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions, and yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. A bad night for the Bengals. Put a bow on Week 4 in the NFL. Cincinnati lost at Denver 28-3, falling to 2-2 on the season. Bengals could only muster 159 yards of total offense compared to 512 for the Broncos. Cincinnati's home Sunday at 4:25, hosting Detroit. The other Monday night football games saw Miami get their first win of the season. Dolphins beat the Jets 27-21, but lost Tyreek Hill with a catastrophic knee injury. Week 5 in the NFL starts Thursday with the Rams and the 49ers in L.A. In college football, number 1 Ohio State hosts Minnesota Saturday night at 7:30. Hear from OSU's head coach today at noon. We'll carry Ryan Day's weekly press conference when he takes the podium. And baseball's wild card round starts on Tuesday. The Guardians host the Tigers at 1 o'clock. The Reds are at the Dodgers at 9 p.m. This update is sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, tickets, sideline passes, trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register today at roosterswings.com.
Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, and whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
Uncle Dom coming up in 28 minutes. It is second hour of the program on a Tuesday. Time for that real truth. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present The Real Truth.
Sponsored by Diamond Cellar. Over 76 years of experience and guaranteed lowest prices on Sawmill Road or diamondcellar.com.
We kind of answered this earlier in the program, but I think it's worth a refresh. Ohio State will play more at noon than any other window combined the rest of the season. Is that the real truth?
Well, I think if you have the caveat the rest of the regular season, I think this is what it's going to come down to. I think right now it's a push. Right now I think it's 4-4. So Illinois is obviously noon already. Penn State's going to be noon. Hasn't been announced, but it's clearly going to be. Michigan's noon. We know that. So those three are locks, noon. So non-noon, Minnesota's a lock, non-noon. So that's 1. So 3 for noon, 1 for non. Wisconsin, so Washington's at UM that same day. My hunch is Fox will take Washington at UM, and they will allow Wisconsin to host us at 3:30 or at night. That'll either be 3:30 at night in Madison. That's my lean right now. Okay, then you got Purdue. Well, that weekend, there are a lot of options for noon, for big noon. So Ohio State, Purdue, to me, screams 7:30 or 3:30 is my guess where that one will be as I look at the matchups that week on the schedule. UCLA is going to be noon. That's going to be big noon. I really don't care what UCLA's record is. That's Nico Amalieva. That's Ohio State at noon, Ohio Stadium. in November, Buckeyes will still be the number one team in the country. That's two brands. You're going to see those colors, and it's going to work. So I'd be shocked if UCLA is at noon. So that's 4 for noon, 3 for non. If I give Wisconsin the 3:30, considering Washington, UM at noon. So that comes down to 1, and it's Rutgers here. Rutgers here. So Rutgers here is either going to be noon or 3:30. So the competition that week is Nebraska at Penn State. If Big Noon has the first pick, I think they would take Nebraska at Penn State, and that would slide Rutgers potentially into noon. So right now, I feel like push feels the most logical, that in fact it's not the real truth. You're going to have 4 noon games and 4 non-noons. All the home games that you want are going to be noon, though. Like that's the way it's going to be. And it's really going to come down to that Rutgers game is my belief. Rutgers or Wisconsin, but I think Wisconsin week it'll be Michigan at Michigan hosting Washington.
So, Bo, I did not look into each schedule week here on this, but like you said, you said we've got 3 guaranteed already because Penn State is going to be Big Noon. So you're 3 and 1.
You got Illinois.
Yeah. So you're 3.
It's going to come down to UCLA, Rutgers, and Wisconsin. Those are the chances, and I think that. UCLA is going to be noon. So
2 noons, 1 not.
Yeah, it's just which of Rutgers or Wisconsin. If they both can avoid it, you need Nebraska at Penn State to be kind of a fun game for Fox to take that over Ohio State Rutgers. But I don't know in November, do you even care if a game's not at noon?
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I think you're right with the 4-4. I think it's going to be a push. I think it'll end up being that. But you just never know how it's all going to break down. Does Nebraska go in the tank here and be really bad at the end? They're like, well, we're just going to take Ohio State anyway because they get more eyeballs. So
that's the battle that they face. Here's the other thing I don't know week to week. Like, does Fox always get the number 1 pick every week? I don't think they always do.
I think they do.
Well, so then they get who signed a deal that would give Fox the first 3 biggest games and the first pick every week?
Kevin Warren.
That's crazy.
They gave the most money.
Yeah, they did. But so. Here's the problem. As long as Ohio State's available, they lift up whoever they're playing. That's why, to me, UCLA screams noon, because you look at that for Fox and you go, all right, I know UCLA sucks, but for the casual viewer, you flip that thing on, it looks beautiful. Those uniforms all look great. Those are 2 brands everybody knows that'll rate.
Arvell Reese will be the first Buckeye off the board in 2026. Is that the real truth?
It's not the real truth. It'll be Caleb Downs, but I do think that both Arvell and Sonny, the way that Matt Patricia is using them. So the guy that I think of with this is if you watch what the Browns are doing with Carson Schlesinger, that's the type of athlete and acumen that Reese and Sonny are playing with right now. Like answers to test guys. So I think both of those guys will be picked much higher than linebackers typically are, but it's still linebacker. And so as good as Schlesinger has been, he was a top of the second round guy. So it's hard for a linebacker to be in the top 15, something like that. But I think both these guys have skill sets that the NFL's drooling over.
So this came about because I saw somebody tweeted at Dane Brugler, and they asked if Arvell Reese was a top 15 pick. And Brugler's response was, based on the first month of the season, yes. Arvell Reese is the type of talent a lot of NFL teams covet for their scheme. Long, athletic, versatile. Don't be surprised if he is the first OSU player drafted in April. And I was just like, whoa, wait a second.
Yeah,
because if Dane Brugler is saying that seems to carry some weight. And it's just... I think we all believe Caleb Downs will be the first, and I think he will, even though he's a safety. I think his skill set is just so dynamic that he's going to be a guy that's close to a top 5 pick in this draft. But Arvell Reese is a guy that was on nobody's radar unless you listen to this show. And, you've got shirts that say Arvell is number 8.
That's right.
And all of that. But for him to not only be in this discussion, but have even passed up Sonny Styles maybe on people's draft boards are just insane. But listen, we knew this guy was a freak.
Yeah.
Coming in from his freshman year at Glenville, like they were moving him around trying to find a spot to get him on the field to use his athletic ability. So Man, if Dane Brugler's saying that, I was thinking Arvell had played himself into the first round, maybe like the 25 area. Sure. Maybe he is going to be a guy that we're going to have to look at as being a top 15, top 10 pick in this draft.
Yeah, he just checks every box of what you would want. That's really high praise for Dane. It reminds me a little bit of Sammy Hubbard, where they just saw this pound of clay and like, what do we do with him? They tried him at safety and tight end and D end and linebacker and everything, and it's like Arvell saying and Sonny really. James fought for Sonny, so and it's paying off. Those two are dudes.
Justin Fields will start NFL games for another team in the next 3 years. Is that the real truth?
It clearly is the real truth, but I love him, so I'm just going to say it's not. I'm just going to go with my heart here and just say I think Aaron Glenn, he's like the perfect, if they can get the right, if they can build it around him. I have blind spots for Fields. I just do. I'll acknowledge it, but I hope that they can. But I'm not optimistic that they will. That unfortunately he'll probably end up somewhere else.
I feel like this is one of my worst Buckeye. This guy's going to be great in the NFL, and it just was not the case. And I do believe that he will be looking for a new home sometime. So he signed a 2-year contract with the Jets, and I just don't see this Jets franchise turning it around that fast. Even if they have the right coach in place and the right pieces there, I just don't see them turning it that quick, and there's going to be some quarterback in the draft that they think is the next best thing, and they'll be ready to move on. Because like you said, a lot of these offensive coordinators now, a guy like Fields drives them crazy because he's not a put your foot in the ground and fire it type of quarterback.
The Blue Jackets and Ohio State men's hoops will make their respective postseason tournaments in 2026. Is that the real truth?
You say I choose violence on a Tuesday in September.
You get the 9 o'clock hour. I'll do the 10 o'clock hour.
Holy
violence.
cow. I'm not ready for that yet. I'll abstain. I'm not ready for that yet. I got to get me through a camp, Reese. Get me through a camp on the Blue Jackets. They both should be. Certainly Ohio State basketball better make the postseason. They better make the postseason that matters. They better be an NCAA tournament team. From the Blue Jackets' perspective, to me, if their stars, and Bake can answer this better than me, if their young stars take a step, then yeah. But we'll get a better idea in the next few weeks if they're ready to do that.
I don't see what's violent about this question. You're damn right it's the truth. It better be the truth. I really like a lot of the additions this Ohio State basketball team made this year. I love Christoph Tilley. I think people are going to enjoy watching him. It seems like this freshman, Amari Bynum, through camp so far, has been the star of camp. We know what they've got with Bruce and Mobley and Royal, at least. Man, you guys know I love the Blue Jackets, but the Buckeye Hoops team was the team of my youth. I've always said that those Jimmy Jackson, Ohio State basketball teams were my favorite teams of all time. I was such a Buckeye basketball fan growing up. Gosh, I want this to be the real truth so bad with them. With the CBJ, Bo, I don't even know if they're young guys, and hopefully they will. I don't even know if their young guys need to take the next step. I think if they're young guys, just continue to stay what they did last year. And I don't believe, like Fantilli, I don't believe that's the case. He's going to be better this year. Denton Matejcek is going to be better this year. I think there's more with Kent Johnson as well. The biggest thing with the Blue Jackets is, can they keep the puck out of the net? Can their defense be better? Can that foursome of Provorov, Fabro, Werenski, and Matejcek, can they all stay healthy and stay on the ice together more than they were last year? And can Jet get the best out of Elvis, or can Jet be the guy in net? That's the biggest question with them in the postseason.
Yeah, it certainly is. We'll give a better read on that over the course of the next month, certainly. Could the Browns be making a move at the quarterback position? We will have that for you coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is your friend with the truck.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point. All our people are in uniforms.
And our trucks are clean and shiny.
And big.
We leave spaces empty and clean.
For you.
1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hey guys, it's Bobby Carpenter here. Are you feeling low energy, trouble focusing, less interest in the things you used to enjoy? How about this? Less strength. It could be low testosterone. Affinity Whole Health is offering free labs to check your testosterone levels. These labs, they're normally $99, but in the month of October, they are free. Sign up now at feelgreatcolumbus.com. Learn why I and thousands of other men trust the experts at Affinity Whole Health. Go to feelgreatcolumbus.com and feel like yourself again.
When we started the company, I was absolutely going to build my own plant. We can build a very, very good window and sell it at a reasonable price. And if you buy from a company that is a dealer, they have to order the part from the factory, have it sent, and then schedule a service. I got 500 locks out back. If you need a lock, it'll take me 15 seconds to walk back here and grab one for you.
Visit our showroom today at 4200 Roberts Road.
Get the MVP, more value price, from Coghlan Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Get 0% financing on a new 25 Kia Sorento or 3.49% on a new 25 Telluride. Visit CoglanKia.com.
Coghlan has the car for you.
Based on January to December 2024 retail sales, 0% for 48 months and 3.49% for 60 months equals $20.83 and $18.19 per 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Not all will qualify. All qualified manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. Ends 9/30/25.
Good morning, Columbus. It's going to be a good day, and it's going to be big. With the biggest morning news team in Central Ohio, Good Day Columbus. The biggest news, weather, and traffic in town every day. Bringing you over 5 hours of breaking news, live reports, and continuing coverage, and stories that'll make you smile. First Warning Weather gets you ready for the day ahead, and Steer Clear Team Traffic will get you to work on time. Good Day Columbus, weekday mornings on ABC 6. It's going to be a good day.
Listen up.
Y'all know what time it is.
Abbott Elementary returns.
Miss Shementi will no longer be teaching second grade. She'll be moving up to teach middle school math in homeroom.
New year.
Preteens are very different than second graders. Every day is like an episode of Scared Straight. What?
Same Abbott.
We live in a post-truth landscape, and these kids hit below the belt, which is where you haven't been touched in years.
Abbott Elementary season premiere.
Wednesday night on ABC 6.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store today. Walk-ins are always welcome. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road in Grove City.
Remember when sports used to be about calling up your favorite host and saying how stupid they are? Good news. We still do that. The Fan Call-In Show.
Hello. Sponsored by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino.
Sunday mornings at 8 on The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-472,000, 614-472,000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-472,000, 614-472,000.
Fraud in government is a crime, and it robs taxpayer dollars. I'm Ohio Auditor of State Keith Faber, and my job is to catch people that lie, cheat, and steal, report suspicious behavior, and help stop fraud. Learn the red flags, speak up, and protect your tax dollars by calling 1-866-FRAUD-OH.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state. The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at onnradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
One of the hottest days of the week for us. Daytime highs in the mid to upper 80s with plenty of sunshine. And then for tonight, overnight lows will be down into the mid to upper 50s with clear skies. The dry weather continues on Wednesday, although we will be a little bit cooler, but still very warm with our highs right around 80 degrees. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Our Top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is, and we are proudly brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. Buckeye jewelry starting at just $99. It has not gone well for the Cleveland Browns. It's been since 2023 in games not started by Jameis Winston that the Browns have scored 20 points in a game. Those games in 23 were quarterbacked, of course, by Joe Flacco. That was almost 2 years ago now, and obviously with the circumstances surrounding their offense now, the inability to pass block of any sort of regard at the two tackles position has led to Joe Flacco being under constant duress in the pocket. The Quinshon Judkins thing has helped because now you have a threat on the ground, certainly, but now you've got injuries to where, as of last weekend, both of your starting two tackles that you thought you were going to play with all season are gone. Dwan Jones for the season, Jack Conklin for who knows how long. The guys who are in those places are basically swinging doors at this point in terms of a pursuit of Flacco, so that's not getting it done. Now you have the news that Cedric Tillman is going to be out for, quote, weeks, in the words of Kevin Stefanski. You say, okay, what are you going to lean on offensively? It gets back to that conversation then, of course, at quarterback. Is all of this on Joe Flacco? No. There's a bunch of factors that lead to it. I've gone over several of them. Will they make a change to Dylan Gabriel? Here's Kevin Stefanski with a back and forth at the beat up in Cleveland on that.
Yeah, I understand the question, Scott. We have to play better as an offense. We have to coach better on offense. It's not about one person. There are so many things that we need to do better, and obviously quarterback included, but this is not about one person.
Yeah, he then, when was the follow-up to that, was asked, so is Joe Flacco your starter? And he just kind of reiterated that again. The way that I would read that is, if Joe Flacco, and this isn't scores, this is just common sense, if Joe Flacco were to remain the starter in Cleveland, Kevin Stefanski just would have said Joe Flacco's a starting quarterback. Joe's going to be the starter this week in London against Minnesota. That's it. So by not saying that, he said, in my view, he said, we're making a change.
Yeah, he definitely left the door open, right? Like he didn't answer the question, but he did not answer the question. And I thought it was interesting. He gives that answer, and then whoever asked the question goes, so is Joe your quarterback? And Kevin chuckled. He laughed even. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he was like, because I didn't answer, or he didn't expect. I don't know what it was. It was just really interesting that he chuckled before saying that he basically wasn't giving the answer.
I think it's what you thought. I think he's like, I didn't give you the answer and you're going to try again, so I'll not give you the answer again. But I think in not giving the answer, in my view, by not giving the answer, he gave the answer. Does that make sense? Like, if it's going to be Joe, he could have just said, yeah, Joe's going to remain the starter. That solves it. I go back to something I said yesterday. I think at times we can be wildly overprotective of these guys, these rookies. One of the things that they loved about Dylan Gabriel was his ability to process, the professional manner that he went about his business, the fact that most of his college career it felt like he had the answers to the test. Then let's just see how he does passing those tests in the National Football League is probably where we are. Because the thing that matters most for the Browns this year, and this goes back to things ownership said, you think about some of the things that Jimmy Haslam said back and all the way back before training camp, they really wanted to get a look at both of these two rookie quarterbacks. Well, the only way to do it is to see them play. And Dylan has earned the right to go first. And then his mentality should be, whether it's this week in London against Minnesota or down the road somewhere else, his job should be make sure that Shedeur Sanders doesn't get that opportunity. Play well enough that nobody else plays after me. That's got to be his mindset going forward.
I just don't know why they have to make this so difficult. Because at this point in the season, even the veterans in the locker room know how things are going with Joe Flacco as your starting quarterback. Those guys have Joel Bitonio, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward have seen enough football to know how this goes if you stay the current course on offense. Myles Garrett, better than anybody, understands what an offensive line looks like when your tackles aren't anything. And at this point, something's got to change. And the one thing that you can change with, I think, reasonable confidence, you drafted the guy in the third round.
Yeah.
Gabriel showed that he can win at UCF, at Oklahoma, and at Oregon. Like, they didn't go up against nobodies. So now the next logical step in this process, for me, and throwing logic into the Browns, is kind of the definition of insanity in and of itself. You just move forward with this at quarterback. And then to your point, if it's not Gabriel, then it's Sanders. And if it's not Sanders, then you have the answer to the most important question you had going into this season.
Bo, you mentioned protecting these guys, right? Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this a lot on this show. The rookie quarterbacks or younger quarterbacks that have done well in this league right out of the chute are guys that have played a lot of football, gotten a lot of snaps. It's been the Bo Nixes. It's been the Jaden Daniels. Mm-hmm. It's been the Brock Purdy's. It's been the Baker Mayfields. It's been those guys that have played a lot of football. Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders both played a lot of college football. They have a lot of snaps under their belt playing the quarterback position. They're not Sam Darnold. They're not Anthony Richardson. They're not guys that need protected. And I think that's part of the reason you drafted these guys is because they've had a lot of tape and a lot of games under their belt, and they've got a lot of things on film. So I think that's why you drafted those guys. And I understand why you start. I don't agree with it, but I didn't agree with it. I understand why you start Flacco to start the season, because every season there's hope at the beginning. And these NFL franchises are not like me, who had no hope in their NFL franchise to start the season. But you've got to trust these guys that you drafted and the reasons you drafted them.
And I think with Gabriel, too, like it might be a necessity for Joe, too. Because right now, they can't protect it. So what? And Joe was never the most mobile guy out there, and now he's into his 40s. You're
going to get him killed.
Yeah, he's just taking a beating. And the reality is that Gabriel, while he's not Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or something like that in terms of that type of threat with his feet, you can move the pocket with him. And the other thing that you can do with him is, because he's a lefty, it's going to look a little different for opposing defenses. And my hunch is that if you do those things, you can buy a little, even if you buy a half second of time of rolling some of those pockets. Because right now, I actually saw Sam Monson with this tweet. I don't know if you guys saw this over the weekend. We've had Sam on a bunch. He comes on all of our shows here. He had a great tweet this weekend on, those guys tweet so much it's hard to say. I'd like to get it close, but I may just have to paraphrase it. But the idea was that the NFL needs to create essentially a roadmap and almost like a gold brick road for offensive line play. That there just isn't enough quality offensive line, and to the point where if you're down a tackle or you're down a guard, you're done. You're done. There just aren't enough good offensive linemen playing football anymore.
Yeah, this was Monson back on September 28th. The NFL so desperately needs an OL development pathway. The number of offenses that die immediately once they lose a starting lineman or two is crazy.
He's 100% right.
Yep.
That the gap, and I went over this, I think we talked about it last week. My hunch is that it's two factors. Number one, I think it's defensive ends are better than they've ever been, more athletic than they've ever been, and there's so many guys who are just terrifying that are playing defensive end right now. And I think the other factor is, in the last decade, there's been this incredible shift to the way we view like D tackles who are dudes, and we're paying them. So if you're a big guy and you can play D tackle or guard, you're choosing D tackle because that's where the money is. Just, you follow the money to it. So that's my kind of working theory on why it's the case. But he's 100% right. There isn't enough. There's not enough quality offensive line play in the league. That's why a guy like Bill Callahan is so valuable, because he can be a Band-Aid when things aren't going right.
It's why Cam Robinson, who wasn't on the roster for the Texans playing last week, is traded to the Cleveland Browns this week, and will probably be the starting left tackle.
Yeah, because there's not enough. Uncle Dom in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Skyline's new chicken chili is here. Now you can enjoy that legendary Skyline taste with a new protein option. Try Skyline's chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. Feeling good. It's Skyline time.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Did your doctor just add another medication to that long list? Maybe for blood pressure, cholesterol, type 2 diabetes? You ask them how you're going to get off of it? Well, the answer is going to be losing weight. But you already knew that. Online at Awaken180weightloss.com.
oven-baked French toast, hot melty cheese, and meat, and meat, and meat. Introducing UDF's new 3-meat French toast sandwich. Sweet and savory cinnamon swirl French toast piled with thick cut bacon, natural pork sausage, and smoky Canadian bacon. It's the newest flavor in our lineup of breakfast sandwiches. All stacked fresh, all served hot, and all made in store to make your morning. The new 3-meat French toast sandwich from UDF. Mornings made for you.
With business banking, Tel Ohio Credit Union takes it personally. It's why they are the #1 SBA lender among Ohio credit unions. You are a member, not a number. That's the Tel Ohio difference. Visit telhio.org/business.
Certain restrictions apply. Tel Ohio is open to all in Central and Southwestern Ohio. Federally insured by NCUA.
Feeling stuck on your own 10-yard line in the career game? Maybe it's time to just go for IT. My Computer Career has the game plan to score a rewarding new IT career in months. Whether you're a rookie, a breakout career changer, or a military veteran ready to serve. Why spend years chasing a college degree when you can fast-track your future in IT starting now? Take your mark, get set, go for IT. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Bishop and Friends present Tuesdays with Tiberi.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
I got to tell you, I got to ask you a question. Have the salaries on the 10 TV side gotten so big that sports guys can just ruin suits catching fish?
What in the name of gosh was that?
That's what we're doing now?
Oh,
like
my.
We're paying people so much at Channel 10 that everybody's got Canali suit deals.
Let me tell you something. He said he was going to put that carp-smelling fish on my desk. I will burn it. If he brings that thing anything near, I got a rule. I like fish, but it's got to be fresh. I don't want anyone eating fish like, I brought in my fish from No, you're not bringing it around. I can't stand it. And he said he was going to put it on my desk. I will burn it. And I'll tell you, Bo, I'm a little salty today. I just came in. I saw Reese. I stayed up. I watched the Bengals. I mean, so much optimism in the Buckeyes. The greatest state when it comes to football. The Football Hall of Fame is here, right?
It is, yeah.
I mean, we are, to me, we can debate whether Newt Rockne or whatever. To me, football is the state of Ohio.
We birthed the sport from our loins. The first NFL game was played here in town. Like, what are you talking about?
Yes, and we now have these two travesties on the river and on the lake.
You ready for this? You want me to put your head in a pretzel?
It's awful.
Let me put your head in a pretzel.
Yeah.
And you've lived here your whole life.
Yeah.
Do you think that Ohio made a deal with the football gods, and the football gods said, you can have either the Buckeyes be great or the Browns and Bengals be great? Because if you go back even in your life, there aren't many windows where all three were great at the same time.
I hear you. I mean,
truly.
I mean, the Browns, they had the Jim Brown days before the days of the.
You don't remember that.
But, I was a little boy. But I mean, what we have witnessed this year, the amount of money that the Brown family put into their skilled players, clearly they needed to put some money into the offensive line. Joe Burrow every other year is getting knocked out. But I mean, who knows how this kid's going to come back, Joe Burrow? I mean, you don't know. And then what's going on in Cleveland? I mean, they got a championship style defense, but I think those guys are getting worn out because I mean it's just pathetic. And I feel bad. You know who I feel bad for?
Yeah,
us the fans, because I root for both of them. But I mean, there's no bigger diehard fans than Cleveland Browns fans, and they got to watch that travesty. And then you look at what's going on in Cincinnati now poor Browning looks lost. And you got Chase, he's mad on the sidelines. Like, we're just going to throw the seasons away, I guess. 4 games in, and I mean, do you see anything that you can feel good about?
Yeah, I mean, if the Browns go to Gabriel, at least you can get a look at, just to see if he's a franchise, just see if he can be your guy.
What about Shador? Why not him? I don't care anything.
Well, perhaps both of them. Gabriel's earned the right to go first, so his job will be to make sure Shador doesn't play. I mean, that's his job. Play well enough that they don't ever have to go off of you. So he'll go first whenever they do make a change. My hunch is it'll be this week based on what Kevin said yesterday. From the Bengals side of things, I think they got to go trade for Jameis Winston. They can't trade for anybody else. At least Winston's fun, and he'll throw it down the field.
He'll throw it, but my goodness.
Well, he'll throw it to the other team sometimes, too, but at least then your receivers would be engaged.
He's a little bit of a train wreck sometimes.
You'd love him.
Well, yeah.
You would love him.
All I will say, and you and I have debated this 100 times, I will take Baker Mayfield back in a minute. They should never have got rid of him.
I don't know how many times I have to tell you.
I know you're going to tell me, and you know why I don't. It's like you're my wife.
You're like my kid.
You're like my wife, and I'm not going to listen.
You're like my kid.
Well, I'm just telling you. I see what the guy can do. He was a different bird when he was here, but I put that on those guys. They were letting him do all those commercials and all that nonsense. Get him under control.
I don't know if it was there was a lot. He even admitted it, that he wasn't. He was cut twice. He was cut by Carolina and the Browns.
I know, but I mean, they could have get him a wake up call because the guy can play. I mean, he's would you like him throwing right now?
Well, here's the thing with of course.
I mean, they had him play. They had him play to 1 year with one arm.
Well, that was him. Yeah, he also, I think it took this to get him there. I think it took him 3 organizations saying you can't play quarterback here. I think it took all of that to get him to that point. The thing that's crazy about Bake this year is that team could easily be 0-4. I mean, now he's led those incredible fourth quarter comebacks, but he's not playing like lights out from a completion percentage stuff. He threw a bad pick. Look, he's playing great. I'm happy for him.
He's
but
better he's better than what. Yes. I'm just here.
I just don't know if it
I'm
ever
just cranky,
happened.
Bo. I'm just cranky because I stayed up late to watch that nonsense.
Why did you stay up? It was 21-3. You're
because
done
I kept hoping. I kept hoping, and I'm sitting there with my buddy Tony Bazzuti, a nice Irish gentleman. He and I were. Tony and I are watching the game, and it just made me cranky. So
what is your favorite? At least we got
the Buckeyes, huh?
Let me ask you this: what is your favorite fish to cook, and how do you prepare it?
Well, I'll tell you, I got 3.
Yeah,
I love a grouper, and I caught fresh grouper.
Mm-hmm.
I love a cobia. You ever had cobia?
Have I had cobia? What am I, heart of cobia?
Oh my God!
I was in the Panhandle for 6 years. Cobia is my favorite. You've cooked cobia for me.
Yeah, I know. I brought it back. We caught them, and then freshwater. I love perch.
Yeah,
perch. Yeah.
And how do you do them? You saute those babies, or what do you do?
Well, and for the cobia and for the grouper, I blacken them.
Mm-hmm.
For the perch, we put them in a little beer batter, pancake batter, and deep fry them. Oh my goodness, good. Yeah. Now, and my favorite, I love crab. We make crab cakes. When the kids, we would go down and they would catch the blue crabs.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's a lot of work, and you get just a little bit of lump crab, but I'm going to tell you what, dude, that stuff is so good. You ever gone crabbing?
Oh, yeah. My issue with the crab is it's so much work.
Yeah, a lot of work, and you get just those. So that's why you know why crab's expensive to eat?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of labor to go in and dip. But we caught a bunch of them, and you get about, about a 50-cent piece worth of meat from each crab. But it is pretty delectable.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I always think back to like the first guy who decided, or gal who decided to eat a crab.
Yeah, like how did you know to get that part?
How starved they must have been to consider like ripping that creature apart and finding what's inside it.
Yeah, back in the back, there's that lump, and then you get a little bit out of the shell. And then
where is it?
And then you got all that other junk in there that some people eat. I'm not eating that. I mean, what is that? I'm not eating that.
I'm not really part of that. Let me ask you this.
Yes,
I got another one for you.
Yeah.
Have you seen PJ Fleck's outfit for his press conference Monday yet?
No. Is it bad?
Oh, my God, dude.
Are we rowing the boat?
It's a black suit. It appears to be a maroon shirt and it appears to be unbuttoned to the navel.
What is he, Paul Anka?
He's your boy.
Having my baby. You know, Paul Anka?
I know Paul Anka.
Yeah.
I think he's your boy.
Oh, my gosh.
You haven't seen this?
No. It's unbuttoned. What's he trying to be?
He looks like Furio trying to woo Carmela Soprano.
What's he doing?
Remember Furio had his big housewarming?
Oh, yeah.
And he was all trying to date up Carmela?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. It's unbuttoned like mid-chest.
Is that coming back into style?
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, when I was back in the 70s, you know, we would wear those type shirts unbuttoned with gold and all that.
Let me ask you this.
I had a leisure suit.
What color?
I had two. I had a light blue and I had a lemon lime.
A baby blue leisure suit?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
yes, sir.
God. And then the alternative was lemon lime?
Yes, sir. That was in.
Where was your place? Where was your spot? Back when you were banging, where was your spot you'd go spend a Friday night?
There was a discotheque. This was right after the movie with John Travolta, Saturday Night Fever, came out, and was on the west side. For any of you old guys out there, you'll remember Dixie Electric Company.
Hold on just a second. Dixie Electric Company?
Yeah, Dixie Electric Company. Yeah. Oh, God. And then there was a place that opened. It was called Apples on Morris Road. That was the other discotheque. And it's pretty funny because back then, so John Travolta made, Saturday Night Fever, and discotheque, was like the big thing. And then he made Urban Cowboy.
Urban Cowboy.
And then all of a sudden everything went cowboy, and I'll never forget. Apples became like Screaming Willies or whatever
You and I. We went to Gillies in Dallas.
Yeah, remember that? I enjoyed that. And I think, did we ride the bull? I can't remember.
We didn't. I don't ride mechanical bulls.
Yeah. But you got on at the stockyards, you got on the back of that.
That's not mechanical.
That Brahma bull you got on
that's
the back
an actual.
of it. Yeah. Oh,
that's
yeah,
an
that
actual
was great.
bull.
Yeah. And you know what my takeaway from that whole experience is?
Yeah.
They stink.
Oh, I think that's the smell of money, brother.
That was not the smell.
That's the smell of money is what that is.
I've smelled money, and that is not money, sir. That was cow manure.
All right. We'll talk to you again next week.
Goodbye,
Good talking
sir.
to you, buddy.
Yes, I'm sorry I was cranky.
Yeah, you're all right. We always get it out of you. The great Tommy joining us on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We'll do Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
At Kroger Pharmacy, we make it easy to get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccines. They're available at no cost to you with most insurance plans, no appointment needed. And we're open weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. So come and visit us when it's most convenient for you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Vaccines subject to availability. No cost to you with most insurance plans. Check with your plan for eligibility. Restrictions and exclusions may apply. See site for details.
When it's 6 a.m. and you need a skid steer and you want to talk to an actual person about skid steers, lean on green. Sunbelt Rentals. With the largest rental fleet and hardest working equipment experts in Columbus, we can help steer you to the right skid steer at the right price right now. Tracks or wheels, diesel or gas, light, medium, or heavy duty. Plus attachments for loading, grading, digging, drilling, tilling, and trenching. No wonder the Columbus builders building Columbus lean on green. Sunbelt Rentals. Learn more at sunbeltrentals.com.
Buckeye fans, introducing Behind the O, the brand new app packed with original athlete and fan-driven Ohio State sports content. It's free to download in the App Store on iOS and Android, and every time you open it, you're helping generate NIL dollars for your favorite Buckeye athletes with zero cost to you. Get exclusive access to fresh behind-the-scenes videos, training routines, athlete lifestyles, and more from every Ohio State sport. Don't wait. Download Behind the O now and get closer to your Buckeyes than ever before.
Behind the O, free for fans, NIL for athletes.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus. It's fall or autumn, as the losers like to say. What does that mean in the car world? That means places like Jermaine Lexus want to clear out all of their 2025 inventory to make room for the 2026 models. And for you, the customer, that means big savings. Take advantage of their lack of space with aggressive pricing. They also have plenty of L-certified vehicles on the lot for the fall collection sales event. If you're in the market, please stop in and see my friends. Jermaine Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, JermaineLexus.com.
T-Bone and Tyvis are part of a balanced breakfast. Wake up with 2 dopes talking about football, and one of them laughs uncomfortably loud. T-Bone and Tyvis.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Weekday mornings at 6 on The Fan.
Good morning, Columbus. It's going to be a good day, and it's going to be big. With the biggest morning news team in Central Ohio, Good Day Columbus. The biggest news, weather, and traffic in town every day. Bringing you over 5 hours of breaking news, live reports, and continuing coverage, and stories that'll make you smile. First Warning Weather gets you ready for the day ahead, and Steer Clear Team Traffic will get you to work on time. Good Day Columbus, weekday mornings on ABC 6. It's going to be a good day.
Listen up.
Y'all know what time it is.
Abbott Elementary returns.
Miss Chimenti will no longer be teaching 2nd grade. She'll be moving up to teach middle school math in homeroom.
New year.
Preteens are very different than 2nd graders. Every day is like an episode of Scared Straight. What?
Same Abbott.
We live in a post-truth landscape, and these kids hit below the belt, which is where you haven't been touched in years.
Abbott Elementary season premiere.
Wednesday night on ABC 6.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. After putting up with Tom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these 2. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed, it is time for a little thing or not a thing on a Tuesday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
ESPN reported about an hour ago that Virginia Tech, their board voted 13-1 to add an extra $229 million to its athletic budget over the next 4 years. The lone no vote, ESPN says, was lodged over an increase to student fees to help pay for that $229 million increase. Thing or not a thing?
It's a massive thing. I mean, this is what you're seeing in the sport, is you're seeing, because these people have mismanaged these athletic departments to such gross levels, and because of the absurdity of the ACC ESPN deal and the fact that how minimal what they're getting in return for that deal, these ACC programs are in dire straits. And so what's happening, if I'm reading this right, is they are going to increase some of the fees for students who are attending the school to pay for an athletic department that can't run itself, when the reality is that at a place like Virginia Tech, and I don't know that place well enough to know, like, do they have billionaire boosters? My hunch is they don't. Do they have people who can come in and write big checks when it on? But even those folks there's fatigue. They don't want to do it all the time. The reality is, if you're going to play college football and you're going to spend $20, $30, $40 million on a roster, there's a bunch of sports that need to go away. That's just the real truth. A bunch of sports need to go away because you're paying for stuff that loses money. And if you actually had to run it like an actual business, there might only be 4 or 5 sports at every one of these places that are true money-generating sports. That might be kind, by the way, 4 or 5.
This is a thing because this kind of tells me Virginia Tech wants to get back into the national scene here, especially in the football program, I feel like, since we know they just fired their head coach. Second thing, this is not a good thing. I'm all for wanting to put money into your sports programs, but not at the expense of costing your students more. And I don't know, maybe that's the way it's always been. I just kind of felt like at Ohio State, the football program made so much money, it just paid for everything else. And I would have thought that would have been similar with Virginia Tech, with how they've been in football over the years. For the most part, in my lifetime, they've had a pretty relevant football program. I'm not okay with this, and good on the person that voted no. Like, don't raise costs for the students to be able to add to this athletic budget. I just don't like that. I feel like there's another way to do it. And, Bo, you mentioned it. It's just pure mismanagement. They've been mismanaging things for so long that everybody else pays for it. And, yeah, that's not – I don't like that at all. And if Ohio State's doing that kind of stuff, shame on them.
You're going to have to, unless you just start calling it what it is and you have a separation of athletic departments. I think it's all inevitable. And, by the way, what did you say the number was? 220 over 4 years?
Yep.
I mean, that's a pretty good chunk. You know, that's 55, what is that? 55 million a year or thereabout, something like that you'd be adding to it. But I still think in a way it's a Band-Aid on a hemorrhage.
Friend of the program, Paul Feinbaum, said Monday he would consider leaving ESPN to run for the U.S. Senate. The 70-year-old Feinbaum said during an interview he'd run as a Republican in Alabama to fill the seat vacated by Tommy Thr, who says he wants to run for Alabama's governor in 2026. Feinbaum told Clay Travis he'd received a text from, quote, one or two people in Washington gauging his interest in politics. From Feinbaum, quote, it was something I never thought about before. Alabama has always been the place I've felt the most welcome, that I've cared the most about the people. I've spoken to people from Alabama for 35 years, and I feel there is a connection that is hard to explain, end quote. Thing or not a thing.
Paul will be on with us Thursday at 10:30, and we will ask him if he's really doing
Senator Paul Feinbaum. How about that?
Senator Feinbaum. Do I think he could be elected? Yes. Running as a Republican in Alabama for the United States Senate? Yes.
His town halls would be legendary.
Oh, my God.
Just phone calls for 45 minutes.
Just take people at the mic. Just take questions. Yeah, I God bless him. I guess if he wants to, that's a heck of a change. He's got a pretty good setup right now, the way that it works. So, and at that age. But, yeah.
So I believe he's got like 90 days to decide, and he said he was going to decide if he was going to do this in the next 30 to 45. He also said some recent things that have happened in the world made him decide, like, hey, maybe this is something I want to do. I think he could win, right? Like,
yes.
In the state of Alabama, especially, like, that's a smart thing, knowing where your base is, the people that like you the most. Jim Tressel became lieutenant governor here in Ohio because people love him and love what he did on the football field and running universities and whatnot. Listen, good on him if he feels like he can go make a change in the world. If he sees things that are bad on the world and he wants to help be a part of the solution rather than sit back and complain and be part of the problem, I'm all for it for him. I wouldn't do it if I was him. He's got a pretty good life right now. I wouldn't go trying to mess that up at the age of 70 or however old Paul is.
Well, here's the deal. Bernie Lomax could be elected as a Republican senator in Alabama, just as Bernie Lomax could be elected as a Democratic senator in New York. Like, that's pretty easy in both instances. Do either of you not know who Bernie Lomax is?
No idea.
Weekend at Bernie's? Nothing?
Oh.
It's a good movie.
I've seen the movie.
Oh, my God. Fellas.
So the Reds play the Dodgers tonight at 9:08 in Game 1 of their NL Wild Card Series. You can hear that game in full over on the Fan 2. That's 1460 on the AM dial. On Monday, Bob Nightingale reported Los Angeles plans to save Shohei Ohtani for Game 3 if necessary. Blake Snell is going to get the nod for L.A. tonight. Yoshinobu Yamamoto draws the start in Game 2. Cincinnati is going to throw Hunter Green, Zach Liddell, and Andrew Abbott in Games 1, 2, and 3. Nightingale says if the Dodgers sweep the best of 3 against the Reds, Ohtani's going to start Game 1 of the NLDS against the Philadelphia Phillies. Thing or not a thing?
You tell me, Beck.
Well, I think it's a thing that hopefully the Reds don't get to see him. Hopefully the Reds take care of the Dodgers in 2, and we'll move along, and Ohtani doesn't get to pitch again this year. Listen, this might be different if Ohtani was full on Ohtani. I don't think he's still there yet. I think he's still on a pitch limit. So I think he's only 5 or 6 innings at the max. I don't know. It's funny how they set these up. The Reds set it up so Hunter Green can go in Game 1 tonight. Then I think, to a shock of everyone, they're pitching Zach Littell in Game 2. They're not even throwing Andrew Abbott. Nick Lodolo's coming out of the bullpen in this series. So these managers do different things. If Shohei was full go Shohei, I have a feeling we'd see Shohei versus Hunter Green tonight. But he's not. So pitching Blake Snell, I think, is probably a smart move.
All right, you can watch Weekend at Bernie's on Hulu and Disney Plus. It's available in both places. By the way, that's going to be, it's not a family movie, but NBC and I are going to watch that within the next 7 days.
We got time for some LeBron James here. Lakers held their media day yesterday. LeBron was asked if he'd be around for media day next year in L.A. Said, quote, maybe. The 40-year-old James is entering his 23rd season in the NBA, and then he was asked if he'd stick around long enough to play with his youngest son, Bryce, who's going to be a freshman at Arizona.
No, I'm not waiting on Bryce. No, I don't know what his timeline is. He's his own young man now. Like, he's down in Tucson. We'll see what happens this year, next year, but he has his own timeline. I got my timeline, and I don't know if they quite match up, but we'll see.
LeBron says he's also not worried about going into his last contract year. Thing or not a thing?
Yeah, I don't think he has any. I think we're past the point of like him holding teams accountable or holding them hostage. I think the Lakers they're all in with Luka. They'd love him to play as long as he wants to be there, but at the same time, like, this guy entering year 23, it's crazy he's still this good at this age. But yeah, I think it feels like this could be it for him there. I still don't think he's going to play for anybody else. I just don't think he's going to live the rest of his life in L.A., and I just don't think that city would ever look kindly on that, and I think that matters to him.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think LeBron's playing anywhere else. It wouldn't surprise me, though, if this isn't his last year. If he plays a couple more years, it also wouldn't surprise me if playing with Bryce is something he wants to do. He tried to push it with Bronny. I don't know if I believe him when he says, no, that has nothing to do with my decision. I think it might.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Final hour of the program. We blitz the NFL coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The two most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants.
The pervert and the skivvies.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Fox Tonight is the place for uncovering mysteries and memories.
I had a car accident. I lost 8 years of my life.
First, it's an all-new murder in a small town.
Your success rate in solving major crimes is superb.
Surprises the heck out of me, too, sometimes.
Then, it's a new episode of the smash hit, Doc.
You're having memories? They're just weird flashes. I need my life back. I will do whatever it takes.
Tonight, starting at 8 on Fox 28.
At the end of the day, the sun sets on Central Ohio, but stories are still unfolding. Every voice, every neighborhood, every question that still needs answers. Fox 28 News at 10 is there in the quiet moments and at the turning points, digging deeper, finding solutions, lifting up the communities that shape who we are. At the end of the day, you deserve a team that's on your side. Fox 28 News at 10, always on your side.
Fall is here. The leaves are changing, football's on TV, and family time by the bonfire feels just right. Before it gets even colder, now's the time to make sure your home is ready for what lies ahead. For over 3 decades, homeowners across Central Ohio have turned to Newman Roofing for reliable roofing, siding, and gutter work that stands the test of time. From your very first call, you'll talk with a real person who's happy to walk you through the process. Your estimator won't push you, just explain what's going on with your home and share solutions that make sense for you. And when the work begins, a dedicated job supervisor makes sure every detail meets Newman Roofing standards. Don't just take our word for it, check out the hundreds of 5-star Google reviews from families right here in Columbus who chose Newman Roofing and couldn't be happier. Appointments are filling fast for fall installations, so don't wait. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today. Let Newman Roofing handle your to-do list so you can get back to the things and the people that matter most. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online today at newmanroofing.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. My good friends over at Sleep Better Columbus want you to know that if you're 65 or older, enjoying those golden years, but maybe you're dealing with restless nights, you need to listen up. Are you tossing and turning, struggling with sleep apnea, and that leaves you wiped out during the day? Well, it's time to reclaim your rest with Dr. Mark Levy at Sleep Better Columbus. As a leading provider in non-surgical sleep apnea treatments, Dr. Levy helps you breathe easier and sleep deeper with custom oral appliances, a comfortable alternative to CPAP. The best part is that Sleep Better Columbus is in network with most medical insurance plans and is a proud Medicare provider, so your coverage can work seamlessly with Sleep Better Columbus. And as we head toward the end of the year, don't let those benefits go unused. You don't want to wait to use your deductible. Act now to make the most of it with Sleep Better Columbus. Call Sleep Better Columbus today at 800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that number, 800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com for your consultation. Sleep better, live better. You've earned it.
College is great. You know what else is great? Pizza, which you can buy with your Huntington Bank debit card with the Ohio State University logo. Huntington Bank is proud to be the official consumer bank of the Ohio State University. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome.
You've heard about the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Yeah, that's an old one. My dad told that one to me. But when it's your real feet, it's not a game. It's awful. Hey, it's Anthony. I had pain in my feet and my lower back, so I went to the Good Feet store and got the support I needed in my shoes that changed the game for me. I went in and they personally fit me for arch supports that would be perfect for my feet. The fitting process is simple. They ask the right questions about exactly what I was experiencing and the lifestyle I want to be able to live. They professionally measured my feet and arch size, and before I knew it, I was wearing my new arch supports home. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I'm a customer. I have their 3-step system put into all of my shoes. Get professionally fitted at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The top-ranked Buckeyes are back at the Shoe Saturday night for homecoming. Ohio State hosts Minnesota at 7:30. OSU's favored by more than 3 touchdowns in this one. Head coach Ryan Day will hold his weekly press conference today at noon. We'll carry his comments live on the Fan when he takes the podium. In the NFL last night, the Broncos bashed the Bengals 28-3, while the Dolphins dropped the Jets to 0-4 with a 27-21 win in Miami. But the Finns lost Tyreek Hill for the entire season with a catastrophic knee injury in the third quarter. Baseball's wild card round starts today at 1 o'clock with the Guardians hosting the Tigers in Game 1. Gavin Williams will oppose Tarek Skubal. Tonight in Los Angeles, the Reds battle the Dodgers in Game 1 of the NL wild card at 9:08. Hear that game over on the Fan, too. That's 1460 on the AM dial. This update's sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. Tickets, sideline passes, trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register today at roosterswings.com.
If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie, and once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
Then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Play-by-play voice of the Cincinnati Reds, Tommy Thrall, going to join us coming up in 27 minutes from now. Between then and now, time to blitz the National Football League.
Bishop and Friends present NFL Blitz.
Sponsored by Monogram Homes. Go custom. Go Monogram. Visit monogramhomes.net to start building.
I believe I had that. What did you have, Reese?
Not a lot. I was 6-10 against the house this week. But I did have the Chiefs not being dead yet. They got that football wizard. As long as they've got Mahomes, you almost pick them against anybody, especially if there's like a death ray pointed on the planet and you got a quarterback to win you a game to save the world. Now, maybe some of you out there don't think the world's worth saving in the event of alien death ray, but Mahomes is the pick, right?
It's nice when he gets a weapon, right? Just a weapon. Doesn't need all the weapons.
And single weapon.
One single weapon, and look what happened.
The defense comes to life, too.
So I understand it's been one game, and he's been really good this year. But Justin Herbert's not that dude. Justin Herbert's not that guy.
Never had this take.
You're not winning Super Bowls with this dude. You're not winning any game of consequence with this guy. If you have a fantasy team, yes, first pick. But if you're playing real football, nah, not it.
Hold the audio. Save that audio a bake. You were dying to do that. So we've been doing this for a long time now, picking every NFL game every week with the number and then holding ourselves accountable by recording how we do and how we don't. And one thing that I've learned through the years of doing this, and we've had a lot more success than we've had failures. I don't think we've ever had a losing record picking every NFL game. One thing I've learned is there are teams that are middling that do things that are unexpected that becomes expected. So an example of this from this past week was, of course, Atlanta was going to bounce back after getting bombed at Carolina. Of course they were at home, and the line reflected that. And speaking of Carolina, of course they were going to revert back to who they actually are in getting bombed in New England. These are the things that happen when you pay attention to this on a week-in, week-out basis. You can start to see these type of things happen. By the way, the teams that do this are never teams of consequence. These yo-yo teams, they are never teams of consequence. I did not have that. What did you not have, Reese?
Well, I went 6-10 against the house, so I had a great many things that I did not pick correctly. I didn't have Jackson Dart being that good.
Gave him a spark, man.
Yeah.
With his legs, he can't play that way.
Yeah,
forever,
it's not like a long-term thing, but boy, I didn't think his first outing would be a success for the New York Giants.
No, it's because they played Justin Herbert, right, Dake?
That's exactly right. He went to the Eric Reeser School of Dance, too, I saw, after he scored that touchdown.
Pretty good.
I did not have the Baltimore Ravens being 1-3 in this point in the season, and also just looking this bad. It just doesn't look right with Baltimore for some reason. Now, we talked about it. The schedule is pretty light here the next 5, 6, 7 games, so they could make a bounce back and they could win 6 in a row, and all of this is for naught. But through 4 weeks, something's not right.
It's not, and now they got injuries. Their 3 losses are to the Bills, the Lions, and the Chiefs, so those are kind of all reasonable. What's not reasonable is how bad their defense has been when they played those 3 teams. They're giving up over 35 in all of those. That's not it. I didn't have the Bengals having so little fight on Monday Night Football. Up against it, I thought you'd have a little fight back. I actually got both of the underdogs wrong last night. Both were cover city, and I thought for sure Cincinnati would have a little bit more guts than what was on display last night. Player who impressed, Reese.
Darren Waller.
Yeah.
Dolphins tight end. I mean, they lose Tyreek Hill, but I think he caught 2 touchdowns last night in their Monday Night Football win from being retired from football, because that's what the New York Giants will do to you. For like 2 years, I think he was, or at least 2 calendar years, he was out of NFL action and comes back, and it was pretty good for him last night.
Cheated on Kelsey Plum.
Well, he fumbled that bag that will forever be the worst bagged fumble by him.
Listen, Bo, when you get filet mignon every night, sometimes you just...
You've said some things, Baker.
For me...
It's been a Tuesday for Baker.
For me, it's Ashton Genty. I thought he looked great this weekend in all aspects, even catching the football. 21 carries, 138 yards, and a touchdown. He had 2 catches. Both of those went to the house for scores. That's why they drafted that guy 6th overall.
I'm going to go old head quarterback on this. I'm going to split it 2 ways. Dak Prescott, somehow, some way, getting a result. Not a win, but a result for the Cowboys against the Packers, despite no CeeDee Lamb. And then Matt Stafford, who just is ageless, apparently. Didn't participate in any of camp and has been lights out and was great in their win against the Colts on Sunday. Disappointed. Player who disappointed, Reese.
Well, it's the entire Bengals operation. Like, there were some bad performances in Week 4, but that was the most listless of them all. That Monday night showing was as pathetic, I think, as you will see this season from any team in the National Football League.
To me, the NFL disappointed. Why are we still having ties? Why do we play a game to tie? It makes no sense to me. And I don't care if you don't like a shootout or penalty kicks in soccer, or if you don't like the college football way of doing things. It's an outcome is better than a tie. Like, what are we doing playing for ties now? I don't understand it. Fix it.
You want to know what it is? I'll give you the reason why. Because the NFL will not just acknowledge that the college overtime's better. That's all you got to do. It's better. Just turn the stats off at the end of regulation and play until you have a winner using the college overtime. It's better, but they don't want to admit it, so they're stuck in this thing that they're in, which results in how you get a tie. That's it. It's no more difficult than that. It's crazy. This is of no fault of his own. I'm just disappointed with Malik Neighbors getting hurt. I just hate to see it. And then Tyreek Hill getting hurt. And I just hate these injuries of the most exciting players. Malik Neighbors is one of the most exciting players in football. Now we don't get to see him all year. And the same is true of Tyreek Hill. Now he's done. And I hate that for them. It's nothing that of no fault. They don't control it, but it just sucks. Bud Kilmer, honorary coach of the week. Who do you got, Reese?
Sean McDermott and the Bills have scored 30 or more points through 4 games. I felt at times played around with the Saints because they kind of could. Like, they're not going to lose a game until November.
Might not.
To me, it's Mike Tomlin. I feel like people keep wanting to run him off. And listen, their schedule hasn't been too tough. Who knew Burrow was going to get hurt, and the Ravens have looked this bad, but they're 3-1 in first place in the AFC North, and he just continues to win. Somehow, some way, he gets it done.
This is culture. He's got culture. And by the way, give Rodgers credit because he's not taking shots. I don't know if you guys have seen this. His air yards per attempt is like 5.2. It's historically low, but he's not turning the ball over. They're managing it, and they're getting results. So it's all working. I'm going to go Shane Steichen here. You go, wait a second. The Colts lost. Yeah, they did, but they should have won. And they went to Los Angeles and went toe-to-toe. What he has done with Danny Dimes, what Danny Dimes has done for him, and who the Colts are, they're real. That is a quality loss out in Los Angeles. If the receiver doesn't fumble the ball just trying to reach for the end zone, they very likely win that game. He's doing a heck of a job in Indy. That team's going nowhere. Top 3 teams right now, Reese, who do you got?
I got Bills, Lions, Eagles.
I got Bills, Eagles, Lions.
I'm sticking with my Ramets. I still have them in the top 3 for me. I'm going to go Bills 1. I'm going to go Rams 2. And I'm going to go Philly 3. I'm going to go Philly 3. But Philly's undefeated, but they are living in the fire right now. Jalen Hurts 0 for 8 in the second half to let Tampa Bay climb back in. I also think it was crazy. Did you guys see they faked the tush push and got Saquon a touchdown on it? Did you see this play?
It was pretty good.
Why would you not wait for that till the playoffs? Why would you?
Because it's Nick Sirianni.
Why would you use that in a regular season game against Tampa? They've never done that before. Because I guess it would make the tush push more effective knowing that that's there. But, like, God, that to me is just dying for a big moment in the NFC Championship game.
Because next time they'll fake the pitch to Saquon and throw it to Dallas Goedert or something like that.
I just think I would have kept that thing under wraps and not used it in that game. Super Bowl right now. Who do you got, Reese?
I got Bills and Rams.
You changed it? You went away from...
I went away from the Lions and the Eagles. I do think if you can keep Matt Stafford healthy in the playoffs, yeah.
They're good.
I got Buffalo, Philly.
I'm going to go... I'm with you, Reese. I'm Bills, Rams as well. I'm on the Rams bandwagon all in as much as can be at the moment. I can't believe we're doing this, but it demands it. There are 2 Ohio professional sports teams playing playoff sports this afternoon and evening. That's right, kids. It's postseason baseball, and we're going to try to talk it. I'll do the best I can coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Good morning, Columbus. It's going to be a good day, and it's going to be big. With the biggest morning news team in Central Ohio, Good Day Columbus. The biggest news, weather, and traffic in town every day. Bringing you over 5 hours of breaking news, live reports, and continuing coverage, and stories that'll make you smile. First Warning Weather gets you ready for the day ahead, and Steer Clear Team Traffic will get you to work on time. Good Day Columbus, weekday mornings on ABC 6. It's going to be a good day.
Listen up.
Y'all know
what time it is. Abbott Elementary returns.
Miss Shementi will no longer be teaching second grade. She'll be moving up to teach middle school math in homeroom.
New year.
Preteens are very different than second graders. Every day is like an episode of Scared Straight. What?
Same Abbott.
We live in a post-truth landscape, and these kids hit below the belt, which is where you haven't been touched in years.
Abbott Elementary season premiere.
Wednesday night on ABC 6.
Skyline's new chicken chili is here. Now you can enjoy that legendary Skyline taste with a new protein option. Try Skyline's chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. Feeling good. It's Skyline time.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
At Kroger Pharmacy, we make it easy to get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccines. They're available at no cost to you with most insurance plans. No appointment needed. And we're open weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. So come and visit us when it's most convenient for you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Vaccines subject to availability. No cost to you with most insurance plans. Check with your plan for eligibility. Restrictions and exclusions may apply. See site for details.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
It's the Valley Ford Fall Super Sale. Mustang EcoBoost, Mach-E, Escape Active, Bronco Sport, just $399 a month. F-150 and Explorer models, Bronco Big Bend, Mustang GT, only $499 a month. Lease all with zero down or buy from a big Ford lineup with zero down, zero payments for 90 days, and zero APR for 48 months, like Carnell Tate says.
The game-winning deal is always at Valley.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus.
All leases 36 months, all offers with approved credit. See Valley for details.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
Helping a new driver get ready for their road test? Here's a convenient new way to make the most of your 50 hours of required practice driving time. The Road Ready Ohio app, available now at no cost to new drivers and their families. Road Ready Ohio keeps track of your driving experience together, providing feedback and safe driving tips. It even generates the documentation you need for the Ohio BMV. The Road Ready Ohio app, free to download in the Apple and Google App Stores.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun, your way. That means every few minutes across Ohio, 20 out of 80 possible numbers are randomly picked. And if some of the numbers you pick match, voila, you're a winner. Keno doesn't require you to know a single thing about sports ball or overs, unders, pluses, minuses, or lines, or whatever else. Keno is as simple as, did some of my numbers match? They did? Great. You just raked in some dough. There are more than 20 hours of Keno draws every day and thousands of places to play statewide. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
One of the hottest days of the week for us. Daytime highs in the mid to upper 80s with plenty of sunshine. And then for tonight, overnight lows will be down into the mid to upper 50s with clear skies. The dry weather continues on Wednesday, although we will be a little bit cooler, but still very warm with our highs right around 80 degrees. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it. They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are. And the Capital Ford of Columbus High School football game of the week takes us to Liberty Friday night as the defending Division I state champs host undefeated UA. Coverage starts at 6:30, kick at 7. After the game, it's Byers, Subaru, Dublin's overtime with Bake and Lee. Friday nights are for high school football, and they're right here on The Fan, of course. All right, I'm so tempted to do some Weekend at Bernie's content here. I really want to. They want me to recast it. I so badly want to have Pacino play the role of Bernie. I just think shoot for the stars on that. I'm very tempted to put Gillis is going to be one of the guys that's carrying him around. And
you have to make it someone as tall as Gillis, though. Like you have to remember.
No, because they weren't in that either. Silverman's tall, and the other guy who's I'm blanking on is a littler dude. Like they don't have to be. You need a clever little guy to go with Gillis as your one of the two guys you need in there.
Knowing the way Netflix does things, they'd cast Kevin Hart.
I think he's a little too old. But I like where your head's at. There's got to be. What if we go straight comedian? We go Gillis and Bergazzi. But he might be too old too. He's probably too old too.
Like the dryness of his humor would fit in that kind of a movie where you've got to be a little wild.
So that's Andrew McCarthy, is it? In the other one, yeah. You need like. Oh, Rothman, of course. Rothman's at the ready with Stiller. Stiller would be great. Young Stiller.
Yeah.
Who's young Stiller now?
Stiller's Bernie at this point.
He would be a good Bernie.
If we're casting
good Bernie at this point.
Actors in their current ages, but if I guess we're getting any actor in their
maybe that's
prime,
what AR's talking about.
I'm throwing Sandler into the mix.
Yeah, we got who's Farrell, the young guy to go with Gillis? Who's the young? There's got to be a young, funny comedian guy out there. Well, they don't make movies like that anymore. When you think about it, like I just saw the preview for the Rogan Aziz Ansari piece that's coming out. Both those guys have been around forever. Like, who's this You need like the Michael Cera type.
Would John Mulaney be too old?
I think so. I mean, you got to be in your 20s, I think, or early 30s. Worst case scenario, you need somebody funny in their mid to late 20s, early 30s to play the other one. I think Gillis would crush it as one of them. Like that style would crush as one of them. And it's either Ben Stiller. I think he's going Ben Stiller as Bernie, which would work.
Is Pete Davidson too old?
Is he funny enough?
I guess that's...
I don't know.
I don't know
up for interpretation.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right. I delayed as long as I could. I distracted you guys long enough. Here's the real truth of this. But I've described this. I've mentioned this many times. It's nothing personal against baseball. In fact, baseball, I loved it as a kid, and I really consumed it pretty heavily, rotisserie baseball and stuff, really until I had kids. And then there's a time crunch, and there's just so many things that I can pay attention to. And quite honestly, baseball talk is something that is really tough on the radio because you play every game. And so unless you're in a market that's really keyed into it and really locked into it, and we have data that suggests there aren't that many markets where that's the case, it's just one of those things that's not worth talking about too much because you can't make that big of a deal about something that happens 162 times over the course of a summer. Now, this is where it's different. Postseason baseball is perfect. It's perfect for this format because every single bit of minutia that happens this afternoon, for example, when the Guards host the Tigers or when the Reds are out in Los Angeles, will be examined. You will look at the decisions that are made in what innings, and you're going to go over the minutia of all of it. And that's as good as you're going to get, folks. Postseason baseball is awesome. Now, the traditionalists may say, is it really an advantage for the Blue Jays, the Mariners, the Phillies, and the Brewers to sit for a week? I don't know that I would want that, to just sit for a week. This is a sport you play every day. Guys are used to the rhythm of every day. The soonest you could play any of those series is Saturday. I don't know if I would want that. So I don't know that the system works that well. But I went over this yesterday. The idea that you have a bunch of teams who have never won a World Series in the middle of this thing. You got teams who either haven't won it ever or haven't won it in forever with a chance. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited to see the new faces. I'm excited to see the Brewers with a bye on the American League side. The Mariners and Blue Jays have byes. We're not used to seeing these teams in the postseason.
You're getting Red Sox, Yankees in the wild card.
Right.
Like nationally, that'll have a lot of attention.
I'll be interested to see what it does.
It'll draw, right?
I hope.
It's tough during football season, but I think it'll draw.
Here's what I'm interested in. Padres Cubs, that wild card's on ABC.
Is it really?
At 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Really?
And Sean McDonough's doing the Guardians game.
Like actual ABC network?
Like the network ABC.
Things have changed, guys. There's not all that syndicated programming that the networks used to run in the afternoons. A lot of times you're running local news now. I mean, local news sometimes starts at 4 o'clock. Most places does now. So you're a lot more malleable as a television station to be able to run this stuff. So I get it. I mean, it's live sports, right?
Sorry to all you Kelly Clarkson show fans out there.
Right.
Not today.
We used to have I always worked for CBS affiliates, and it was like, you can preempt anything except Oprah.
I don't actually know if Kelly Clarkson show, if that's on ABC, but it might be on CBS.
You do not preempt Oprah was the rule. Under no circumstances do you do that. So ESPN, 1 o'clock for Tigers and Guards. Then to Reese's point, 3 o'clock, Pods and Cubs on ABC. Then the nightcaps are all ESPN. So you get Red Sox and Yankees at 6, and then Dodgers and Reds at 7 o'clock. So that's a 6 o'clock Pacific first pitch out west. What chances do you give your two teams, gentlemen?
100%. I don't know, and you guys haven't looked at the Guardians roster for the wild card, but one Chase DeLauder has made the postseason squad for the Cleveland Guardians. After months of me the one thing baseball take I would have was it's time to start bringing up these young guys. They brought up C.J. Kafis. He got plunked by a pitch, sending him to the postseason. Now Chase DeLauder's up. You might see him a little bit today in a pinch hit role, but this is time, right? You have a pitching staff, and you have Gavin Williams on the bump today that's pitched as well as anybody in the last month. Their lineup, despite as goofy and as wonky as it's been, has hit as well as 3 of the 4 teams I think that have buys in the first round of the Major League Baseball playoffs, and you're giving your young guys a chance to shine in this kind of a moment. And the last time Gavin Williams faced Tarek Skubal, this is all pointing Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bet on it, or at least don't take my advice in that instance, but I'm as confident, I think, as I've ever been in a Cleveland Guardians game.
I know that some injuries played a part in DeLauder not coming up before now. Tough spot to put him into a Major League debut for the first time in the playoffs. Now, listen, I also believe if a dude is he'll be fine. He's going to come up here and he'll rise to the occasion, but just think you'd like to get him a bat or two before he got to the postseason. You're right, Reese. Everything points towards the Guardians winning this series. They've been on the upswing. Detroit has been the down. A lot of times it doesn't work that way, but I feel pretty confident in the Guardians getting by the Tigers. I feel much less confident about the Reds because of who they're playing.
Yeah,
because they're playing the Dodgers. I feel much less confident about that. Maybe even in just the fact that the Dodgers have been there before, right? And the Reds have not. If the Reds were playing anyone else, I think I would feel a lot better. But again, this Reds pitching staff can steal a couple games. It's very interesting that Tito went with Zach Littell tomorrow night over Andrew Abbott or Nick Lodolo, but he's going with his rotation in their normal days, and I believe in Terry Francona. He's done it before.
The Los Angeles Dodgers are spending more than $500 million on this year's roster. The Cincinnati Reds are at $121 million.
I saw that the 3 lowest payrolls in the postseason. Number 1 lowest is the Guardians. Number 2 is the Milwaukee Brewers, and 3 the Cincinnati Reds.
That's something, and they're all there. They're all in the mix. No, this is fun, and I think it's as good as it's going to get. And to have both of them playing today is awesome. We'll join the Reds game in progress with the Dodgers after the Blue Jackets stuff goes final with the preseason hockey. So you'll get that late, and you're going to get Game 1 from the beginning on the Fan 2. So you'll get that as well tonight. That one is a 9:08 first pitch out in Los Angeles. So you'll get them all 4 today. They stack these up in a way that you go. I do think it's crazy, for me to wrap my head around old school me, the idea of it feels like the Guardians already vanquished the Tigers. Over the last month, they already vanquished them. And now they got to beat them 2 out of 3 again. Now they should. They have. And I expect that they will. But it's in the old days, the Tigers would have been vanquished already. You wouldn't have to see Tarek Skubal today or ever again. You're done. It's on to the next. And the way that they expanded the postseason, it gives the Tigers a chance. I'm guessing if you were Major League Baseball, you'd like to take the Tigers and swap that out with the Red Sox and then have a little bit of cross-pollination there. But it is what it is. And it's going to be a fun Tuesday to have all of this baseball. The Reds will be late night, as we said. That means they are out in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Tommy Thrall will be on the call for the Reds on the Reds Radio Network, and he'll join us in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Fox
Tonight is the place for uncovering mysteries and memories.
I had a car accident. I lost 8 years of my life.
First, it's an all-new murder in a small town.
Your success rate in solving major crimes is superb.
Surprises the heck out of me, too, sometimes.
Then, it's a new episode of the smash hit, Doc.
You're having memories? They're just weird flashes. I need my life back. I will do whatever it takes.
Tonight, starting at 8 on Fox 28.
At the end of the day, the sun sets on Central Ohio, but stories are still unfolding. Every voice, every neighborhood, every question that still needs answers. Fox 28 News at 10 is there in the quiet moments and at the turning points, digging deeper, finding solutions, lifting up the communities that shape who we are. At the end of the day, you deserve a team that's on your side. Fox 28 News at 10, always on your side.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, as the home of the Reds in Central Ohio, we are lucky enough to be able to hear this man's voice quite often, and a privilege to have him on today as we get set for Reds and Dodgers tonight out in Los Angeles. He's Tommy Thrall. He's a radio play-by-play voice of the Cincinnati Reds, and he joins us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Tommy, thank you so much for taking the call. What has this ride been like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you guys having me on. Hopefully my voice sounds a little better tonight than it does right now. No, it's been a fun ride. I mean, this team's been pretty special. They have really truly believed in themselves, and every time it looked like they were down and out, they found a way to rally. And I think that's what makes them so special. They don't give up. I mean, somebody asked me, "Hey, look, did you think that this team was out of it at one point?" And every time it got close, I thought, well, let's give it one more series and see where they're at after that. And then, boom, they'd go out and take 2 out of 3, and the Mets would drop a couple, and then all of a sudden they're right back in it. And you're like, well, I guess I better hold off for a few more days before I start making plans in October. And that's just kind of how they've been, but it's because they have that fight. They just don't give up. They don't give in. They have exciting pitching. I mean, when you have a team with this kind of pitching staff, anything's possible. You don't need to score a ton of runs. They don't score a ton of runs. So, their pitching's always going to keep them in the game.
Tommy, a lot of what you talked about there sounds to me like culture, and I'm curious the impact that Tito Francona has had on that. He's such a calming presence.
I think that's huge. I asked him, it was after one of and there have been several, but one of the tough losses that felt really, really deflating. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but I said, look, this is a tough point of the year. You really can't afford a loss like that. How do you keep guys' spirits up? Like, what do you do? Because you can't go around and just, look, hey, we got to go get them today, and there's got to be more to it. And he goes, it comes back to our coaches. He goes, they've got to have their energy up with everything they do pregame, whether they're walking through the clubhouse, whether they're going through drills with guys before the game, just all the early work that they do. He goes, as long as we keep our energy up, he goes, that usually rubs off on the guys and rubs off on the team, and then in turn it gets their energy up. And I thought that, that it seems pretty simple, but it made a lot of sense. And I think that's the Tito effect right there. He says some things that sound pretty cliche, but he lives it. I mean, if you dare try to talk to him about something that's a week out, you're not going to get an answer because he truly hasn't thought about it. I mean, he is as in the moment as it gets, and I think that rubs off on the guys. Look, he's there, he's in the trenches, he's trying to figure out a way to battle and win every day, and it rubs off on the guys. He doesn't panic. The guy doesn't panic. I mean, you could sit there. We got saw this team. We got swept by the A's in Sacramento. That'd be a pretty good time to panic late in the year. He didn't. He didn't. He rallied everybody together. He addressed the team after that series, and then they go to St. Louis and take 2 out of 3. So it's just, he's a big factor. There's a reason he's had the success that he's had as many places as he has.
A lot of fans question Tito not starting Hunter Green to start that Pirates series so you could get him 2 starts as the regular season was winding down. He stuck with his rotation. Now you get Hunter Green for game 1 of this series with L.A. because of that. A lot of people are questioning he's going with Zach Littell in game 2. What do you think about Tito's handling of the starting pitching in this series?
Look, you can question the guy all you want. First of all, he doesn't care. That's what's great about him. I mean, he doesn't care. He goes, hey, look, if people want to question what I do, go ahead. They can. That's their prerogative. It's not going to bother him one way or the other. The thing about it that I've learned about him, he has his reasons. Whether you understand him or not, he has reasons for doing what he's doing. Sometimes he can discuss them. Sometimes he can't. And there are times where he'll kind of talk behind closed doors about why specifically he might have gone with one guy over another. But the thing that I'll tell you, very rarely is he just going on a whim. Now, sometimes he's going on feel, sometimes he's going on his gut. But those are instincts that have been forged over a long, successful major league career. I'm not saying that it's not fair to question some of the things that he does, but I will tell you this. He's always got a reason for it, and it's usually a pretty good reason. But with Littell going game 2, I'll probably talk to him at length today and try to get a better understanding with it. But I've got to believe that it has something to do with trying to neutralize some of the left-handed bats in their lineup, and it probably gives him a little bit more flexibility on how he can use his bullpen.
Tommy, when you think of the history of the sport, great players, in order to truly be great, you have to be in this stage a lot, right? You got to be seen. You got to be in the postseason. Those moments resonate forever. Elly De La Cruz feels like he's going to be a generational player, and the start to his career speaks for itself, but he's never been on this type of stage before. I mean, this is the Dodgers, it's Chavez Ravine, all of it. Usually these type of guys lift. What do you expect to see, and how excited are you to see him in these moments?
Bingo, right there. You said it. Guys like him, they just kind of have a way of rising to the occasion. And look, I've seen Elly just go off when the lights are the brightest, whether it's Yankee Stadium, Dodger Stadium. We've seen him come up huge in big moments, in big cities. I just feel like he's built for this. He's started to look a lot better at the plate here over the last couple of weeks, too, which I think is encouraging. There for a while, it really looked like he was caught in between, just kind of feeling for the baseball instead of attacking the baseball. Now, all of a sudden, he's getting after it again at the plate. I think that is really an encouraging sign for Elly. And my gut tells me that this is going to be a big series for him. I really do. I believe that. I think he's built for this, and I'm just as excited as everybody else, because here's the thing about it. Look, I said earlier, this is not a team that scores a ton of runs, but he's the type of guy that can take over and dominate not just a game but a series. And if he does that, look out. I mean, this could be a lot of fun, and I have all the faith in the world in this pitching staff. So if you have a guy like Elly take off, that could go a long way, especially in a best-of-3 series.
Ellie's first time on this stage, but it's also the first time for Sal Stewart, Matt McClain, some of the pitchers, Chase Burns, Andrew Abbott. Just how big of a moment, win or lose in this series against the Dodgers, how big of a moment, how big of a step is it for this organization?
You know, I was thinking about this and talking to some people about it earlier in September. Might have even been late August. That, you know, you kind of just hope that this team, at the very least, would stay in it till the end, and that all these young guys would get this experience of playing meaningful baseball. Well, the month of September turned into basically one big playoff run, and this team handled that really well. Sal Stewart never seemed like the moment got too big for him. Just went out and hit bombs for the whole month of September. Not bad, and not a bad guy to have, whether he's in the lineup or on the bench. Not a bad guy to have, especially a young player who's enthusiastic. I think he brings some good energy to this team. The fact that a lot of these guys haven't been on the stage before, I think is fine. I do think it's good that they've kind of gone through what they went through in September, the ups and downs, because it looked like it was either late August, early September. I really felt like this team was pressing a little bit, and you could kind of sense that maybe the moment was getting to them some, and then they overcame it, and then they played their best baseball down the stretch. So I think having gone through that failure that they went through just a few weeks ago helps prepare them for this. And you know, I was talking to Tito about it earlier this week or last week. I said, do you feel like you have to have experience in these situations to be successful? And he's pretty adamant that no, you don't necessarily have. Like, the experience is good. You know how to handle it. But that doesn't mean if you don't have the experience that you can't handle it. And I'm excited. You know, good athletes, they find a way to find another gear that you can't just turn on. You just do it. It just happens. And I think we got some of these guys some of those guys on this team.
Tommy, we greatly appreciate your time and your voice all summer long here on The Fan. Thanks for giving us a little bit of time today to preview it. You enjoy it too, my friend. These are the things we get into all this for, right? Is to call games like the one you're calling tonight.
You got that right. I mean, this is why we do it. This is a lot of fun. It's been fun for the last month, and you know what? I wouldn't be upset if we keep it rolling for another month.
Deal. We're in too, man. Enjoy it. Thanks for your time.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. Take care.
All right, there he goes. Tommy Thrall, radio play-by-play voice of your Cincinnati Reds, joining us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. 3 things on a Tuesday up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
The Daily Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is Daily Show with Coach Ryan Day, brought to you by Safe Light Auto Glass. Looking back at the Washington game and the pressure that your defensive line got, just if you would talk about how that seemingly came from all points of that defensive line.
Yeah, the goal going in was to really corral Williams and make sure everybody understood where they fit in to the scheme, not just a bunch of individuals just rushing the passer, but that also ties into the back end, spies. There was a lot that went into it. And I think guys understood that, and part of that is being unselfish, but that team effort, ended up resulting in a bunch of sacks. So the good news is, coming out of the game, I think the guys, more and more bought in to what we're trying to get done, and are building confidence every week.
Okay, we'll have another comment in just a moment.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelight.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Buckeye fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes those moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, so crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
Ryan, you were talking about the group effort on defense last week. Is that how the pass coverage can kind of hold things up to allow time for guys up front to get inside?
Well, that's it. And I think the disguise is where we're continually looking to evolve so that every once in a while you give them the look that they're expecting, but then when you change it, it allows the rush to have a little more time to get home, and that's where everybody needs to understand how that fits in. And typically you can rush 3, you can rush 4, you can rush 5, you can rush 6, you can rush 7. Each different variation of rush has a consequence in the back end. You rush 3, you're going to have 8 guys in coverage, but now there's only 3 guys getting to the quarterback, and you can understand how this goes back and forth. And so these are all the conversations that we continue to talk about and try to figure out which one fits each week. And then having the ability to get in and out of these based on what the other team's doing. So, again, I think it's important for the players to understand the give and take in all of this as we go into game plans. And so each week we'll pull out the ones we think fit the best.
Okay, this is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Toyota gives you more electrified hybrid choices than anyone else, including the stylish new Corolla, a name synonymous with Toyota quality and dependability, the elegant new Toyota Crown Signia, and the latest edition of the legendary 4Runner. Toyota's extensive lineup also includes battery EVs like the tech-savvy all-electric BZ4X, and of course, the iconic Prius, the hybrid that started it all. That's the power of choice. From Toyota, let's go places.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven. I feel valued as a member.
They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pack Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary. Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do we have on the poll today?
Daily Fan Poll asks, what will be the result of today's Game 1 between the Tigers, Guardians, Reds, Dodgers? Your options are both teams win, Guardians win, Reds lose, Reds win, Guardians lose, both teams lose. 51% say the Guardians are going to win, the Reds are going to lose. 21% say both are going to win, 19% say both are going to lose. 7% say Reds are going to win while the Guardians are going to lose.
What was how many votes on that?
You got about 200 votes.
All right. So 45 minutes ago, I put up a poll. Without Googling, do you know who Bernie Lomax is? 321 votes so far. Sadly, the no's winning 64.8%. The yeses 35.2%. So then I beg the question, is Weekend at Bernie's actually good? Or was our threshold during that era so low for comedy that we just There's the famous Seinfeld bit where Elaine gets the VHS on Weekend at Bernie's, and she goes, "Oh, these dead, you idiots." I mean, it's a classic Seinfeld scene at the video store. So maybe I'm misremembering. I'm going to watch with NBC, and I'm going to be curious to see, because that's about the age I saw it, I would say, like 13.
That'll be the litmus test.
That's what I'm going to do. Maybe I'm going to start. Maybe I'll do a podcast where I take movies that I watched in the 80s that were entertaining to me, watch them with one of my boys, and see if they stand up, if they hold up. Like Die Hard held up, Commando held up. What else did I recently do with him? Those two definitely did. The Fugitive held up. That one worked. That maybe I'll do that. That might be what it'll be. So we'll put it to the test to see. Somebody also had Matt Rife as what the other guy opposite Gillis. I don't particularly care for him, but I think he would fit that role pretty well. He's kind of swarmy, isn't he?
I don't know his acting chops. I think he just fits the mold of he is comedian.
Yeah.
So we can't just we kind of can't just keep throwing out names of comedians, because sure, he would be one, but an actor, I don't think that's there.
I don't know if Andrew McCarthy could act, and it worked out. All right, time for three things on a Tuesday.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
So this morning, a fleet of humans showed up at my house, and apparently my wife had hired them to clean all the light fixtures inside and out. So I said to her, what made you decide to do this? And she goes, "Oh, I do it every year." And I go, "You do?" And she's like, "Yeah, every year I have this done. They change the bulbs and they go through and they clean everything." And I'm like, huh. And then it occurred to me, my wife apparently routinely does things on a yearly basis that I would probably wait a decade without even noticing. I really don't know. Like if aliens were to abduct her, I probably wouldn't clean a fixture until 2027. 2037. We're in 2025. 2037. It's a decade before I'd clean a fixture. I would never even notice it.
I was just about to ask, would you even notice that they would get cleaned had that army of people not shown up to do the cleaning?
They're sparkly. The chandeliers are sparkly. I don't know.
I will say this. I did notice one of my light fixtures in the kitchen had a little bit of dust on it, so I am going to have to take care of that. Maybe hit
this guy's number?
Maybe hit the ceiling fans while I'm at it.
You want this guy's number?
No, I can just stand and reach and do it. I don't have the vaulted ceilings like you do.
Baker can stand and reach. I've got little stools in almost like every floor that we live in. I've got a little step stool. If I notice debris in the bottom of the light fixture, it's coming out and getting flushed. The Athletics been doing for years, I guess, but this is the first one of this season, a Heisman Trophy straw poll. Dante Moore right now, the quarterback of Oregon's leading Fernando Mendoza and Diego Pavia. Moore, Mendoza have Heisman moments that could be made a week from Saturday, while Pavia has got a chance to do some vaulting at Alabama this Saturday.
There's no way he does that 2 years in a row, does he?
I don't think so.
First thing for me, loyal listener Phil in the YouTube chat had a question for you, Bo.
Okay.
So I'd like to relay that to you. He's going to Champaign in 2 weeks, and he wants Unk's recommendation on a steakhouse in Champaign.
BW3 made a great steak when I was there.
They got a Hooters in Champaign?
I mean, it's
good burgers.
We stayed at the Buckeye Hotel, and we just went, I don't know. I'll get it. Fish should know. There's got to be a great
the fish
steakhouse
recommendation, huh?
It's funny because everybody I know who went to Illinois loves it. Loves it. So maybe it's just the times that I went, the weather was god awful, and maybe that was a part of it. I just remember it being gray and the wind blowing 1,000 miles an hour. That's what I remember, and my face freezing off. So both times I was there, that was the experience I had. Number two for me. So I see Riley Pettijohn, who's a freshman linebacker, going to be a stud. Where's number 20? He's a Texas kid, and he's going to be the next guy behind Arvell and Sonny, along with Peyton Pierce and so forth. His mom, Juliet Pettijohn, took a photo of her and her lovely husband, and they're in Seattle watching the game. Well, guess what jerseys they have on? Gray sleeves.
Oh.
Where are they getting that?
Scores?
Oh.
Where are they getting that? I see a scarlet jersey with a thick gray sleeve, and I want to know where it came. They're both in them. I mean, come on. Riley's been here for 8 months. Guys, I've been here 18 years. Like, let's go.
We need them. That's clear. Second thing for me, I don't know if we need a second Simpsons movie. How many of you out there remember that there was a first Simpsons movie made? The announcement was made yesterday that they're going to be doing The Simpsons 2.
I'm going to tell you something.
So,
Bootsy comes up to me Sunday and he goes, Dad, do you think I can watch The Simpsons? I guess some of his buddies are. And I said, yeah, I think you can. I think you can. I think my brothers were watching it at his age. He's 9. I think they were watching it at that age. So he goes to find it on one of the apps. I had no idea that there's like 50 seasons of this. It's been on my whole life, basically.
Yes. I was going to say, The Simpsons are older than Reese.
It's like, they
Correct.
are. And it's like,
they are
1,000 episodes. Where would you even begin? Like, that just seemed insurmountable to me. Where would you even begin?
I'd probably say season 2 or 3.
I've never watched an episode of it. Never.
That's mind-boggling.
Yeah, I've never seen an episode. I mean, I'm aware of it, and it's been on in rooms, but I usually flip it. It's on after football, and then I'll flip it.
Second thing for me, in case you're wondering this Saturday, how am I going to spend my time, or what am I going to do while I'm waiting for the 7:30 kick against Minnesota? Well, the Buckeye basketball team is going to have an open hoops practice Saturday at 2:30 at the Shot, so you can head down early, get a preview of Jake Diebler's team this year, then head over to the stadium, watch the Buckeyes beat the Gophers.
That's smart scheduling. We're up against it, so no time for 3 for everybody, but that's a really good job of scheduling out of Jake to do that in a lead up to that. Worked out very nicely. Good job out of him and everybody at the athletic department. Rothman and Ice coming up next. We are back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy.